All right. And so for today's program, if you'd like to see the brochure, just take the agenda that's been given to you and then turn to the back. When you turn to the back, you see you see two scan codes, right? There's one on top and then there's one below, right? So scan the QR code below to be able to access the brochures of today's event. And if your phone is unable to scan, if you're unable to scan the code, you can use the link bit.ly/2024 TFN Incubation Hub brochure, right? So just find the link in that agenda that has been given to you. Okay, so today, just some housekeeping rules to ensure that today's event is as seamless as possible. Please ensure that your phone is on silent, right, so that your phone or calls coming in do not interrupt the flow of today's event. Okay, so this is a brochure. You can actually scan it here. To ensure that your phone is not interrupting the flow of today's event and pitch, right? And who knows, maybe your phone ring can actually make our innovators nervous. So please, keep your phone on silent just to ensure that the event flows smoothly. Another housekeeping rule is that if you need to use the restroom, right, if you go downstairs, the first door to your right, you see the restroom. Just go in and you'll be able to take care of yourself. All right. So on this note, I would like to welcome everyone once again. We're not the only ones here, right? Even though we're here together physically, we have amazing people joining us online. Please let's give them a round of applause to encourage them. Yeah, so they're with us just as much as we're here. They're also joining us online. And I would like to welcome our board members at Teach for Nigeria. I would like to welcome our donors, our partners, government stakeholders that are joining us, Teach for Nigeria team members, TFN fellows that we have in the room, TFN alumni we have in the room, guests joining us online, and then our amazing innovators that are going to pitch in today's event today. And on this note, I would like to say a big thank you to Orlando Foundation and the Enterprise Development Center for making this event and for making the Incubation Hub process possible for us at Teach for Nigeria. Okay, so on this note, we would like to move to our next item on the agenda, and I'll be welcoming our most amazing, alumni in the room, fellows in the room, Teach for Nigeria alum in the room. Please, let's give a shout out. We are welcoming our amazing CEO, Mr. Ayodele Olajiga. So let's give him a round of applause as he comes up to give the opening remarks.
I don't know why they always feel the need to use amazing. I think Aramide missed out. If you scan the code on the lower one, that's great, but I would urge you to look at the one on top. I think that's the more interesting one. So if you can scan the code on top and make a donation to our Hans and Renee campaign, where we're trying to support about 1,000 kids with 4 million naira, that would be amazing. So, and this is the only time you're allowed to bring out your phone and do it. All right. So, first of all, let me just acknowledge some of the special guests that are with us online. And I noticed while I was speaking, the chairman of Teach for Nigeria, Mr. Akunle Lebute, walked in. So, welcome. I also want to acknowledge the amazing judges that we have who have given up their time today to help us through this process. So it's my job to welcome you to, yes, thank you. So it's my job to welcome you to the 2024 Incubation Hub pitch competition. Our alumni go through about 3 months of rigorous different events, from workshops, ideation, to training, to the like, and then they get to this point where they get to present their innovation. This innovation often comes out of what they do during their fellowship. So they go 2 years into a community, and we encourage them to look for ways to transform lives in the community in which they're working outside the classroom. Because in the classroom for 2 years, they're working with kids to transform their lives. This program started in 2020. We started with about 20 innovators in northern Nigeria. And since then, it's become an annual event that we host every year. So last year, about 2 innovators won, I think, about ₦1 million each. And I understand that this year, the winner is going to walk away with about 2 million naira. Now, I got a call from one of the judges who would not be named, who asked me, what are they supposed to do with 2 million naira, given that, I guess, in current Nigeria, is not a lot of money. And I said to him, well, it's supposed to encourage them. But it's not out of the realm of the possibility for the judges to decide that they want to add some of the 2 million naira. So I'm just suggesting if any judge feels moved, that the 2 million naira is not enough, you have our full support and permission to add to the 2 million naira. Now, this program is very important to our alumni because for us in Teach for Nigeria, we have 2 is eradicating education inequity, and we do that by being in the classroom. The second part of it is this cohort and this army of leaders who understand education inequity, who to transform education in Nigeria is what we are growing. And at the moment, we have over 1,000 alumni. We are now almost at a point where we will be growing that alumni body by almost 100. And so at some point, my belief, and probably the belief of everyone associated with Teach for Nigeria, is that people and leaders who understand addressing education equity is important will overwhelm the system. The other thing I should say to you is that on the back of this program, Teach for All, which is the network that we're part of, is now about to pilot something program to support alumni innovation. I thought you would applaud that part. All right, so just a few thanks. I want to say a big thank you to Oando Foundation. They are the ones responsible for, the prize money that the winner is going to walk away today. They also provide some money to support some of what we do here. I also want to acknowledge EDC. They are our implementation partners, and they're the ones who run the 3 months program. So on that note, I want to say again, welcome to the competition, and good luck to the 10 participants who are going to pitch today. Thank you.
All right, let's clap some more for our amazing CEO. Okay, so at the beginning, I probably missed out something, right? I didn't introduce myself. Okay, because I don't want anybody to call me sister or auntie or ace. Okay, that's just by the way. My name is Aramide Kayode. Excitingly, I'm an alum of Teach for Nigeria. I finished my fellowship in 2020. And I also went through the Incubation Hub program. Yeah, so, on every side, Teach for Nigeria has been of great help to me and the work that I do. The community I work in. And what I do is, right now, I've grown to start my school, a free school based in Ota, Ogun State, where we provide 12 years of free education to children from under-resourced communities, specifically in the Ota community. And we cater to children that can't even afford the public school tuition. So those are the kids that we cater to. And so I'm a product of TFN. So everything you're seeing here is very exciting for me, very personal for me. And I know that today's event will go well for every one of us, and excited about
If you come into a group as a social innovator, you will come with a beggarly cap, always needing money, always wanting money. Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me. But if you come with a development cap, you come in as a partner to the table, a collaborator. We're not asking for handouts. We're here to have a partnership collaboration. What programs and projects can we co-design and co-develop and co-implement together?
The Incubation Hub program is a 3-month enterprise development initiative designed to provide the skills, resources, and also access to mentorship that are needed by early-stage startup from the Teach for Nigeria alumni community. And the idea is to enable them to grow and scale their initiative towards system-level change in the education system.
What does development consultant do? They reach out to organizations that have needs and budgets. They help them co-design and co-implement intervention programs.
I'm happy to be one of the beneficiaries of the 2024 Teach for Nigeria Incubation Hub. For me, this has been a transformative experience.
I've learned so much, and one thing that I'm taking away from this experience is the fact that I shouldn't build structures around myself alone as a leader. I should not have the founder's syndrome, but the ideal is that we are supposed to build structures that can work even when we are not in that picture.
The emotional intelligence session, it gave me this new insight and perspective about handling people, knowing and understanding better emotions to use when dealing with people.
I've learned about credibility, that is, I must be credible, and whoever I'm working with must be credible. And another key takeaway I learned was documentation. Anything I'm doing, I need to document it. Also strategy. I learned a lot of strategies, building systems and structures for my business, how to incorporate media, how to apply emotional intelligence, effective communication skills, leadership, and branding.
It was interesting meeting and engaging with all the amazing and remarkable 10 innovators, highly talented and very ambitious. And I think this program is very timely. Kudos to all the partners and the funders and the team at Teach for Nigeria, enabling and capacitating these young folks to take it on themselves going forward. So that is really remarkable, and I can't wait to see what they will do next. Let us follow.
Team Amazing!
Do you guys remember these guys?
My experience so far in the Incubation Hub is that I've been able to learn a lot of lessons. I learned about project management.
I have mastered the art of grant writing.
I have also learned about sustainability.
I learned about leadership skills.
I've also learned about different kinds of funding and the kinds of fundings that I need specifically for my enterprise.
I have mastered how to network in attending events and conferences.
I have learned also how to build partnerships.
Partnership is C2C, B2B, B2G, DP.
See another one. That's just how it is in education. As they're trying to solve one problem, different things keep coming up. Yeah, and we have these innovators who are solving problems across school feeding, providing healthcare, providing support, community of support to children in under-resourced communities who are, unable to access education. And these innovators are, we have 10 of them in the room. What they are doing. Before we go ahead for them to pitch. Okay, so our first innovator, I believe there's going to be a slide push. So our first innovator is Agnes Onyekere Disu, who is working on Project Mend, where she is school bags so that they can break the cycle of poverty in their families. Please, let's clap for them. Thank you. And then we have Pascal Anyawu, who is leading the Digital Empowerment Network Initiative. And what he's doing is bringing empowering children in under-resourced communities with the digital skills that they need. And then we have Oluwatobi Sunday, who is leading the Digital Education in Low-Income Communities Initiative, who is also doing work in providing digital and STEAM education to source communities. Please let's clap for Oluwatobi. Then we have Boluwatife Agbono, who is leading the Edu Diet Initiative, where she's providing healthcare, clean water facilities to children and communities in these rural regions so that they can thrive and do not have to fall sick. So let's clap for Boluwatife. And then we have Grace Kolawole, who is leading Kids Nurture. And what they are doing at Kids Nurture for children going to school. And they're providing these children with good and nutritious meals so that they can thrive even while they are in school. And you know, everything really gets better with food. Who is in school, who is hungry, cannot learn. And so this is also another initiative program. So let's give it a round for Grace. And then we have Baba. He has designed a program to provide a community of support for children struggling with sickle cell. Not be able to afford treatment and all of that. And this is the work that Babajide is doing. We also have, thank you, actually come out of poverty and then sell some of the products and services that they learn from the skills that they are being empowered with. Poverty. Very amazing initiatives, isn't it? And then we have Uwabuike Collins, who is leading the Waste to Design initiative. And what he's doing is actually to use plastic waste to classroom decoration so that our classrooms can look more colorful, right? Amazing. Joy Ifeanyi, who is leading is also working with recyclable, items, and they're using these items to actually produce desks, school desks, where children can actually classroom. Please let's applaud them. Let's applaud them. Okay, and last but not the least, we have Adeyoju Adeyola. And what they're doing is to reduce bullying in schools. And this is like a board game where the children work together to be empathetic and to learn how to, on them. And these are just the 10 amazing innovators I've put together. And today we are going to listen to their pitch about that with us. So on our agenda right now, our innovators are going to come up to pitch, right? So innovators, you have 5 minutes in your pitch, and then I'm going to ask any questions that they have for you.
We also ensure that as you're buying a bag, you're given the opportunity to put food on the table of women and children in low-income communities. And of course, one last thing, you get a beautifully written, handwritten note from the maker of your bag. Now that personalized experience is not something you get from mass-imported bags. Okay, I'm having issues with... Okay, so we're pitching here for the 2 million Naira seed grant that will enable us scale up production, and this is exactly how we intend to use it. Now, 50% will go into the purchase of 2 industrial sewing machines. Now, those 2 industrial sewing machines will enable us stop needle breakages that we have from using our manual sewing machines. Then 12.5% will go into the acquisition for workspace. Right now, we use a public school facility. Then 10% will go into the purchase of a heat transfer machine. Right now, we outsource our printing, but imagine having all this money inside. 7.5% goes to the purchase of a manual cutting machine. So we use, instead of, cutting individually, we are cutting in bulk. Then 12.5% will go into a generator that would power our industrial machine. Then 7.5% goes to bag-making materials in bulk so that we can beat price hikes in the market. Now, this investment is going to enable us scale up production by 30%, which will lead to an estimation of 12 million Naira. That investment will become
500% return on investment with the possibility of actually creating 5 new jobs within these communities. Okay, so these are my team members, and then these are my board members. So collectively, we have 7 years of skill acquisition experience. We have 15 years of project management and 20 years of banking experience. And then we've been able to get official partners. We have Tech Africa, we have Chanza Africa, we have Dress for Success, and of course, Growth Global Africa in Uganda. Remember when I was telling you about Mrs. Adekombi at the beginning? This is our story.
àwọn máa wá sí school wọn ò ní jẹun àwọn tá a bá ṣiṣẹ́ ilé ṣiṣẹ́ ilé 3 bedroom flat 1,000 láti àárọ̀ dálẹ̀ náà máa fún wa oúnjẹ náà ní fún inú mi ò dùn rárá mọ́gbà tí mo gbọ́ pé àwọn fẹ́ ṣe kí ni pé ó máa wúlò fún wa àmọ́ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run inú mi dùn pé mo ti kó nínú iṣẹ́ àti mo dúpẹ́ fún iṣẹ́ àmì iṣẹ́ ọ̀tọ̀ náà mo ṣe pé mi náà mo jẹ́ èèyàn kan báyìí tí mi náà tún máa ti ọ̀gá ara mi tí mi ní ṣiṣẹ́ irúgbọ́n tí mi ní ṣiṣẹ́ ọmọ mi ṣe dọ̀tí pé mi ò ní àwọn iṣẹ́ mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run mọ́jọ́ Thursday yẹn tán ní káṣá máa tẹ̀ wọ́n dẹ̀ tún kọ́ wa ní school bag wọ́n kọ́ wa ní purse making mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run pé èmi náà tí mo ṣe tí mi mọ maṣíìnì ń tẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ mo dẹni tó ń ṣe báàgì inú mi dùn ayọ̀.
Agnes, for your pitch, and well done, and congratulations on setting this up. Just a couple of questions from me. I'll try to take them all together, and maybe I can take them one by one. So when you started to talk about how the lady was about to pull her son out of school, and I'd like to know what has been the impact so far. So how would you describe the impact in terms of people returning to school? Do you have a number? How has this helped? And maybe tie that to how much do the women actually make? So based on the process of making the bags, what is the income that the women actually make at the end of the day? I'll leave it at that and let someone else.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. Okay, so I'll just go straight to the second one so that we can tie it up together. So for each bag that we make, for example, this week we've gotten like 40 orders already. So for that 20, we have the women getting 1,000 naira from each bag. That's removing cost of materials. They get 1,000 naira from each bag. So imagine that they are able to make, let's say, what's the minimum? Let's say 5 bags. Just imagine the 20 bags now. So that would be 20,000 naira for the woman who actually makes this bag. So that is the return path. So we do it like that. So it's like driving them to actually want to, work more. So it means that the more you work, the more you make. So if we are putting you to say, okay, that's removing the cost of materials now, that's what goes to your pocket. It's 1,000 naira. So imagine that we are saying 1,000 naira goes into your pocket. You are like, okay, let me see how I can push myself in a day. Let's make 5. In a week, multiply that, right? So, yeah.
So the income they make is dependent on how many orders you can potentially get. They don't have a fixed income per month. So if you have 100 orders, they make 20, they get 20K. If you have 0 orders, they make nothing. Right?
Yes, but that's it. Okay, based on, all right, so what we do is we try to work alongside teachers. So we are not just coming to say, okay, we're working with the women. We also have contact of the teachers, because I was an educator before we found out the problem in low-income communities. So we have a network of educators that work with us. And these women, we don't just do outreaches. We ensure that we deepen impact. So we ensure that these women, we track them, we track the schools that the children of these women go to. We find out, okay, what's really happening. So when we train women, we try, okay, 3 months, let's see what the impact is. We go and do visitations. So we visit the woman, see what the machine looks like, because sometimes you have issues of people wanting to sell the machine and all that. So we try to find out, let's visit these women, what's happening with them, what's happening with the children. So the teachers are like, okay, no, but at this point, from that point till 3 months, these children are better now. In fact, their attendance is better now. So those are the metrics that we measure.
So well done, Agnes. My first question is, how long does it take the women to make each bag?
Okay, so it depends. So what will I call it now? The duration is different when it comes to expertise. So at the beginning, it can take them like an entire day to make 1 bag. But at this point, they can make 2, 3, 4 bags in a day, depending on how the mastery of the skill.
And beyond making bags, have you considered other products? And what does that look like? So where do you see the company or organization in maybe 2 to 3 years?
Okay, so yes, we've considered doing other complementary products. So we started with bag making because at the beginning, as BTC projects, you don't have funding. So we utilized the professional in our team. She knew how to do bag making. She was an expert in bag making, and she has spent 7+ years doing it. So we leveraged her skill, and we launched with the bag making. So we had a couple of skills that I wanted to do, but at this point, I'm looking at how we can actually, deepen impact before we are, expanding to other products. Instead of just saying, okay, we are doing this. We are trying to say, okay, let us even see how this let us see how this is going first, and then we can, expand into other products.
All right, Agnes, well done. Nice initiative. I'm more of a numbers guy because numbers don't lie. I'm not sure I see clarity with accountability in terms of the numbers, right? The margins in the business. In fact, if you look at your executive management or the personnel, there's no representation with accounting. Okay, because for this business to be sustainable, you need to track those numbers. So I was struggling with looking at who is responsible for accounting here.
Okay, so this is my co-founder.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's the business financial guy. And one of our board members, she's actually the branch manager of EcoBank. So she and Funshaw, they put their hands together to come up with the expertise when it comes to the finances.
One other thing, when you're making a pitch like this, it's important for you, in addition to that those numbers I mentioned, to look at the projection as well. Okay, projection for the next 6 months, for the next 1 year. All right, because that projection would tell us if this business is scalable. Because with scalability comes sustainability, because you don't want this business to die at an early stage, right? So that's also very important. Social impact, okay. Again, with the numbers. If the numbers are good and the margins are good, the business can sustain itself, can be self-sufficient, right? Then with that, you begin to see the impact it's making, which is your overall objective. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well done, Agnes. I was actually booting and thinking, should I jump in or should I pass? Anyway, so I wanted to find out, just so I know, this your particular business, Project Mend, is it for profit oriented? Is it non-profit? I need to speak to that. Then, in terms of your impact, in what area did you see yourself getting your critical impact? Is it in the, like what she was asking, is it the amount of kids that are now able to go to school? Or is it just training and skill acquisition? Or is it the revenue you are generating as access to markets once you help the women to sell those bags and earn a livelihood, a decent income? What's the main deal for you? Or is it just anything and everything? Do you get my questions?
Yes, I'll start with the last one. Okay, so basically, we are focused on women empowerment because there is a correlation based on studies have shown that there's a direct correlation between a mother's state of empowerment and the nutritional benefit that her child enjoys. So which means that the more empowered the woman is, the more nutritional benefit that her child would enjoy. So that was it.
Agnes, hold on. Are you chasing nutrition now as part of your impact indicator? Are you chasing nutrition outputs as part of your impact indicator? I'm asking.
Yeah, it's part of it.
Okay.
It's part of it. It's the overall well-being of the home, and then the fact that the woman actually plays a very vital role when it comes to the overall well-being. So I'm looking at nutrition because, I mean, food is like the first thing you think of.
So how do you track and measure and report that nutrition outcome?
Okay, I would say that we...
It's okay if you've not thought through it.
Okay.
Or if you don't have it clearly sorted out yet.
Yes, so we've not really touched that aspect yet. Yeah. So because it's in stages, right? Yeah. So you first of all have to do the empowerment of the woman before it starts to translate into the household.
And that itself is an impact outcome. So you can actually report that also.
Yes.
You know, whether as an activity, as an impact, or as an outcome. Sorry, as an activity, outcome, and impact. You can report that level. Then there's another level where you help them make decent revenue. That's another layer again. Okay. So I'm asking, of these different layers of impact, are you interested in all, or there's one that is a major for you?
Yes, there's one that's a major.
Which one?
Women empowerment.
Not nutrition?
Not necessarily, because it will translate eventually.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
My first question, your business model. What are you really doing here?
Okay, I think we already answered it with the what's my core. Okay, please could you ask it again? Oh, okay, it's hybrid. Okay, so it's hybrid. So there's an aspect where we just focus, or you go there, you just see a lot of women empowerment going on. You see the women paddling and pedaling and all that. So that's the non-profit aspect of what we are doing. And then you see the other parts where they gain mastery of the skill, and then they're actually good enough to start to make beautiful bags that we sell. So we'll put that on e-commerce platforms and they start to make income from it. So yes, the part where we make income from it is the for-profit. And then the part where, we are doing the skill acquisition and they are learning and doing all that is the non-for-profit. So I'd like to say it's a hybrid.
Hello, Agnes. Well done.
Thank you.
How do you select your beneficiaries, and how many women are currently on the program?
Okay, thank you. So what we do is, I used to be a teacher in the low-income community, and I realized that some of my children are showing up to school hungry. So as a teacher, what I do is I have a network of educators. So what we do is we go into a community. Teach for Nigeria is the network of educators. So we go into a community and we identify the fellows in there. So when we identify the fellows, because fellows are sent into the low-income communities. So we go in there and we are like, this class now, the teacher in there, can you just give us your top 2 students who come to school, and they're either coming to school hungry, because there are a lot of them. They come to school hungry, they show up without learning materials. Learning materials, read pen, book. So they show up without any of this. So just give, we know you have many. Give us top 2. So we function based on the amount of funding that we have for that particular project. So we do 2 per class. So the teacher will give us the teacher's top 2 students who show up to school hungry most of the time, who come to school without learning materials, no pen, no book, nothing. So we do that for a couple of the classes, primary 1 to 6. And when we do that, we trace their moms. Yes. So totally we've done 63. It's been a year now.
Please let's appreciate the work that Agnes is doing. Okay, so before we go on, I would like to recognize a few of people who have joined us just as the event has been going on. I would like to recognize the chairman of TESCOM Lagos, represented by Dr. Mrs. Adeleye. You're welcome, ma'am. Who is the director at TESCOM Board Chair. And then I also like to recognize representatives from Ohando Foundation and representatives from Ashoka. You're welcome. It's great to have you in our midst today. Okay, so moving on to the next innovator, I'm going to invite Pascal Anyawu, who is sharing about his initiative called the Digital Empowerment Network. Please note that you have 5 minutes to pitch, and once your 5 minutes is up, I'll let you know. And judges, please, you have 3 minutes for questions. Thank you so much.
September 14th, 2007, the trajectory of my life changed forever. As a result of the crisis in Tudunwada, Kano State, which claimed many lives, my family went from a place of plenty to a place of penury, from abundance to poverty. And this is inclusive of hundreds of other families like that. And this has been my motivation and driving factor. Due to that incident, I was fortunate, and unfortunately for my siblings, to have benefactors who sponsored my education. I was privileged to go through very good schools. My siblings did not have that opportunity. This has been the driving factor behind Digital Empowerment Network. My name is Pascal, and I'm the founder of Digital Empowerment Network. What is DEN? DEN is an initiative that seeks to provide quality education to Nigerian children, especially those in underserved communities and those who are victims of circumstances. DEN is also an initiative that seeks to empower Nigerian youths with digital skills. We believe that in today's world, technology is not just a tool for learning, technology is also a pathway to success, and that is why we found DEN. Evidence shows that according to UNICEF, 54% of Nigerian children do not have access to digital materials, and this is inclusive of computers and laptops, iPads, and the likes. A report in 2020, according to World Economic Forum, states that in the near future, 9 out of every 10 jobs is going to require digital skills. Unfortunately for Nigeria, it's only 15% of Nigerians who have basic computing or digital skills knowledge. Also, a report according to National Bureau of Statistics in 2022 stated that 83 million Nigerians are poor. And yes, I know what poverty is. Nigerians are really suffering from poverty. What is our solution? We have proposed five things as solution to these problems that we've outlined. First of all is digital training. We'll start by training teachers, especially those in the underserved communities, so that they can be able to translate this to their students. Because, well, nemo does quod non habet. You cannot give what you do not have. So we have to train the teachers first of all. Then secondly, we expose these children to digital skills. We expose them to hands-on practical sessions with all of these digital devices that we are introducing. Next, we make or establish digital hubs or innovation hubs where people can actually come and learn in person on different digital skills. Then we're also proposing an online learning platform so that learning is mobile, either a website, through websites and through applications. And lastly, it's not just about teaching them, it's also about empowerment. We want to empower especially youths so that they don't just have the skills, but they use them to make themselves self-employed or they become employable. Thus far, what have we done? We have established an ICT center at Methodist Primary School, Fadage, Ogun State. This ICT center is serving 2 schools actually, and there are over 300 beneficiaries as a result of this ICT center. We've also trained 50 staff across 8 schools on use of these digital devices in order to improve their work. And we are currently operational in 2 states. I am in Plateau State, just Plateau State, whereas my colleague is running this in Ogun State. What is the market like? The technology market is worth about $5.3 trillion as of 2023, and this is expected to grow. So why should investors be interested in technology or edtech? They should be interested because, one, technology is now being, the demand for technology is increasing, and the e-learning platform is growing, the market is growing, there is need for digital inclusion, and there is large youth population in Nigeria, most of who do not have anything tangible they are doing. As a form of sustainability, how can we sustain this project so that it does not just end after a year or two? We have decided that we are going to diversify our sources of funding. We are not just going to be dependent on one source of funding. We are going to build partnerships and collaborations, which we have secured one partner already. We are going to continuously upgrade our content to meet the needs of our students. And then we are going to build a mentorship program so that those who pass...
Thank you very much, Pascal. Please let's encourage him. Yes, 5 minutes. Time run out fast. Okay, so I'd like to give the opportunity to the judges to ask any questions. Please, we have 3 minutes for questions.
Well done. I could see you're a bit nervous giving your presentation, but well done on the initiative. You mentioned you've set up one ICT center, trained about 50 teachers. I believe it's from the same school.
No, the teachers are not from the same school. They are from 8 schools.
50 teachers from 8 schools.
Yes.
The ICT center is where?
It's in 2 schools, actually. Methodist Primary School, Fadage, and then the annex.
Okay, that's in
Ogun State.
Ogun State.
Yes.
Okay. So what have you done in Plateau State? Because you mentioned you're in Plateau and Ogun State.
Yes, in Plateau State, we are still working on replicating what we did in Ogun State. We have not gotten there yet. But thus far, I have 10 students who are chosen because they are victims of unfortunate circumstances. And I'm trying to use this as an opportunity to draw them out of their unfortunate situations and also empower them to become self-employed.
Okay, so we know ICT is capital intensive. So the center you did, how many computers and how were you able to fund it? And if you set up the ICT center, were the teachers then not trained, or they are part of the 50 that were trained?
Sorry, the second question, I didn't get it.
Okay, so cost of the ICT center, how were you able to fund it? How many computers, and how were you able to fund it? And were the ICT, were the teachers of that school where the ICT center is, were they trained as well?
Okay, yes. To begin with the first one, we were able to secure 4 computers, a printer. We got funding through donations that were made by people. We got over 600,000 in funding, and the teachers in the school are actually part of the people that received the training, alongside other staff from other schools, neighboring schools around the community.
And how do they use this in teaching?
Okay, we started by reorienting the teachers because most of them do not believe in technology. Most of them are used to analog means or ways of doing things. So we started by training them, telling them that technology can actually make their work easier. And aside that, it will also help the children to make their education relevant to their needs. So we train the teachers, and the teachers, in turn, sometimes they use the computers and devices provided for educational resources when they need resources, videos, pictures, and then the students are also doing hands-on sessions, learning how to type, learning Microsoft Word, basic computing operation for now.
Okay, I think you just answered. Well, first off, good initiative, Pascal. Well done. I think you just answered the first question, which was, I wanted to know the level of the digital education you're trying to impart into these kids, okay? Because technology is very broad. So I assume that you just want to keep it very basic, right?
Okay, the initiative is actually twofold. The first part of the initiative, which is actually supposed to be a social impact, is the one that we are doing right now, which is basic computing operation among students in underserved communities. The second part of the initiative is actually the empowerment part, which is not going to be free. It is going to be affordable, but not free. It is going to be a learning platform, or whether physical or virtual, where students can acquire digital skills. So that is.
So the problem you're trying to solve is same thing as Teach for Nigeria, but yours is narrowed down to digital, education inequality, which I must applaud. But again, the quality is also very essential, all right? The quality of the faculty. Are you close to your locations? Are they very close to institutions that offer, technology or IT in schools where you can tap into the resources from those institutions? For instance, if you're in Ogun State, you can have your location close to Ogun State University or any of those technology schools where you can easily tap into those resources to come and train the kids. That way you are not in need of resourceful teachers, okay? That's number one. Number two, the curriculum is also very important. So from basic to empowerment, you can't move to empowerment unless you're certain that your basic education is of good quality. Then when you move to empowerment, I did not see any structure in place with regards to practical sessions. Because when you're talking about empowerment, it has to do with not just what you've been taught, but how you can actually put it into practice. So are there structures in place that would transition from not just learning the basic stuff, but actually getting your hands dirty?
Okay, in Plateau State, I have just secured a partnership with Blue House Technologies, and they are a group of experts, and it is easier in Plateau State because, just like you said, the school or the experts are there, so I don't have to stress in looking for persons to offer this, and the students can actually get their hands dirty in terms of doing the practical stuff. It's not just about learning. And then there is a network that they can easily transition into so that they don't just know it, but they are able to use it to their own benefits.
So on a final note, the reason why I'm asking this, and there must be a structure in place if you really want to scale this and get it to the next level. When you train or teach a child, your end goal is to empower the child. That child loses that training if you don't expose them to practical experience. And you would see, well, you could say that these children are in the neighborhood of low-income earners, right? So maybe there's a limit to what they can learn, but you can start out with some projects on renewables, on robotics, these are areas where you could say advanced kids are moving into, but I don't think kids in those neighborhoods cannot be exposed to those opportunities as well.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
I'll be quick. Just one question. Well done. Sounds amazing.
Thank you.
What are your thoughts around building capacity? Because it sounds like from an implementation perspective, so I can see that you have a team here, but a lot of the work seems to be you and the other person that you mentioned that's in another state supporting you. So how do you plan on building capacity from an implementation perspective?
Sorry, building capacity, you mean with
Within
my
your team, yeah.
Okay. I started off as it was a loan project. I started alone, and then I started looking for people who share similar ideology and people who have relevant skill that we can use in the initiative, and that is how we started. Now, the team, first of all, will have to learn some of the things that we will be expecting the children to know, right? So, for example, I didn't do anything ICT related, right? But because of this initiative, I am forced to go and learn a lot of things about the aspects that I want the students to know. So that is how I am trying to build the team in terms of capacity. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Pascal. Just before we go ahead, I'd like us to welcome Mr. Samuel Ajayi, who is representing the CEO of Sterling One Foundation. Please, can you signify by raising your hand? Okay, you're welcome, sir. And I'd like us to welcome our friends from NABU who are joining us today. If you can wave, yeah, thank you. And then partners from Aluko and Oyebode who are joining us as well. Okay, you're welcome. All right, so we'll go to the next innovator, Oluwatobi Sunday, who is leading the Digital Education in Low-Income Communities Initiative. So once again, 5 minutes and then 3 minutes for questions. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning, everyone, and distinguished panel of judges. My name is Shonde Oluwatobi, and I am the founder of DELIC. DELIC is a social impact project that aims to provide students in low-income communities with consistent access to digital tools, digital literacy programs, STEAM education, and enhanced foundational learning opportunities. Our vision is to reimagine education and transform lives, and we are achieving this through our mission to bridge the digital divide and reduce educational disparity by promoting equitable and inclusive digital education in low-income communities. Why are we doing this? At DELIC, our mission is driven by a belief that education and technology can transform lives. Our purpose is to create a world where every child, regardless of their socio-economic background, can step into the digital age with skills and confidence, ready to grab every opportunity they deserve. This is the world we are creating, one where no child is left behind in the digital world. So, the COVID-19 pandemic was a wake-up call to the world because it revealed a heartbreaking reality that the world wasn't really prepared for, the digital divide. As education increasingly relies on digital tools and online learning platforms, the digital divide places the children at a disadvantage, limiting their opportunities for academic and future career success. The core problem identified is the digital divide and its impacts on educational disparity in low-income communities will lead to the following interconnected gaps. One, access to digital tools gap. Evidence shows that 89% of students in sub-Saharan Africa lack access to internet, to computers, and 82% are without internet connectivity. The second gap is digital literacy and skills gap. Evidence shows that only 11% of primary and secondary school students in sub-Saharan Africa are taught basic computer skills. And the third one, foundational learning gap. There's a shocking report by World Bank in 2021, which indicated that learning poverty, which is caused by failures in foundational learning, had worsened, with the global rate estimated to have risen from 53% to 70% due to the compounded effect of the pandemic. Based on this evidence, it is clear that bridging the digital divide is essential for addressing educational disparity, especially in a world where technology now plays a significant role in education. What is our solution? Our solution is digital education in low-income communities, DELIC, and it consists of 3 main pillars based on the gaps that we've identified. 1, digital access. 2, digital literacy programs, and 3, enhanced foundational learning. What is the market potential? For digital divide, the affected global rate is approximately 1.3 billion children. And for educational disparity, the affected global rate is up to 700 million children. Sub-Saharan Africa constitutes about 16 to 17% of the global population of children. DELIC is targeting up to 200 million children in low-income communities across Sub-Saharan Africa who are severely affected by the impact of digital divide on educational disparity. By scaling through strategic partnerships, DELIC is bidding to reach and impact up to 5% of this market, equivalent to 10 million children in sub-Saharan Africa. How do we plan to scale into these markets? 1, by forging strategic partnerships. 2, by creating a digital learning management system with offline accessibility. 3, by providing learning centers in targeted communities or regions. And 4, by building an expert team that is capable of executing the mission of DELIC. What is our sustainability plan? We have 1, advocacy and awareness programs. We have public-private partnerships. We have teacher training programs, community engagement, diversified funding sources, and building alumni network. What is our need? 2 million naira will not be able to cater for all these needs that we have here, of course. But then the 2 million naira I'm pitching for today is going to be used to purchase this STEAM education kit. The first one, which is the Scotigo Edu, will be used to train students on the basic concept of programming. While the second kit, which is the Elenco Snapset kit, will be used to train students on electronics and basic concept of electricity. And of course, the third one, which is the We Make Robotics kit, will be used to teach students in terms of robotics. Thank you very much.
Okay, so questions?
Thank you,
You're welcome,
Toby, for your presentation. Is this something you started already?
Yes, it has.
Okay, maybe you can talk us through some specifics, because I struggled a little bit to understand exactly what it is that you are actually doing and how. Maybe you can talk us through how you're doing it and how you intend to measure impact. So what does success actually look like?
All right, thank you so very much. So basically what we are doing, like I said, is to provide students with consistent access to digital resources like computers, laptops, internet connectivity, and so on. We also have the STEAM education on one side. So, and we have a solution here, which is one of the things we are doing. This is the digital literacy programs. Digital divide comes in two ways: access divide and usage divide. So with the digital access, we have been able to cater for the problem of digital divide in terms of access. And for the digital literacy programs, we have been able to bridge the digital divide in terms of usage divide.
Sorry to cut you short.
Yes.
Can you just tell us how, just give us a practical example? We have gone here, we have done this, we have reached this number.
So basically, what we have done so far is coding skills. We've done digital literacy as well. And we've used that through personalized learning for everything that we're doing. Thank you. Okay. I don't have the pictures here.
Let me go back. So tell me, Oluwatobi, I've gone into X and Y school. I have met
you're referring
children.
to the traction.
Yes. Just tell us exactly
all
what
right.
you have
Thank
done.
you so
how
much.
Many, what
Thank
the
you
reach
so
is,
much.
etc., etc.
Okay. So in terms of traction, DELIC has reached 2 different schools in Tolu Complex at Ajegunle, Lagos State. And we have impacted more than 40 students with consistent access to digital literacy programs and coding skills. That is it. Thank you.
Okay, so you teach them coding, you take the computer there.
Yes.
So, I mean, can you just explain it? Yes, you seem to just be speaking on
so
the
peripherals. Computers are mobile, they are laptops, Chromebooks. So, and I am a teacher in that complex. I teach in that Tolu complex. So the 2 schools that we've impacted, these are schools that I've taught in. Right. So from one school, as I'm moving, the project also moves along, and the students are growing along the line as well.
So what's your success matrix? So how do you know that you have been successful in terms of impact in the project that you have done? Not this, not in the future. Yes, there's future, but in the 40 that you have trained, can you talk to us a little bit about what impact has been on those children? Okay,
the good thing about it is that students who doesn't know how to operate a computer before now know how to operate a computer. And of course, we know that STEAM education is very rare in low-income communities. So teaching students coding, which they are never exposed to in the beginning, and seeing them doing wonderful works, which some of them are uploaded on our social media platforms, it's amazing work for me.
So Oluwatobi, well done for
thank
setting the scene. But what would have been great would have been the questions we're answering to be in the presentation, because I think we ended the presentation really not understanding how you intend to implement the work that you're doing, the impact that you have, the fact that you're in a school that was not mentioned at all. So we were all trying to understand exactly how or what you've done up until this point. So for me, it's you know, you're a numbers guy, I can tell, right? So you've given us all the numbers and all the facts. But we need to understand the human side of what you're doing and how you're doing it, and the people that you're impacting, the children you're impacting. So less of a comment, less of a question, but more of a comment for future pitches that you're doing.
Okay, so the children, like I said, they are children from the low-income communities in Ajegunle, Lagos State, Nigeria. And these are students who are also attending Tolu Complex. They are students in that school. And we have a lot of schools inside Tolu Complex, like up to 39 schools. So these are the students that I am working with. And it's like an after-school program whereby after school, they come around, they have access to the computers. We have our digital literacy programs. I teach them on digital skills, word processing, digital citizenship, and security, and some other things. And also, from there, they graduate into the STEAM program, which is the coding. Because I don't have the STEAM education kits here, so what we usually do is by using Scratch on the laptops to teach them the concept of coding for the beginners. Thank you.
Thank you, Oluwatobi.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think you are more of a smooth talker than a practical guy. I mean, this is a space that I'm familiar with. And I think what could have given a lot more depth to your presentation would have been pictures of those children. Okay. What they've done. All right. You mentioned robotics. Let us see them actually getting their hands dirty. And maybe you've also engaged them in one or two competition out there to test their level of, learning. Do you understand? Then the people behind it, yourself, what kind of training capacity do you guys have? Okay. The alumni network, I love it. I mean, that's similar to Andela, right? So if you're able to show to us through pictures that, these 40 kids, this is what they've learned, right? And coding and programming, there are different stacks, okay, languages. These are the stacks that you train. And this is where you intend to go to in the next 5 years. Give us a picture of where those, because what you're trying to do is to show us a journey of transformation of lives.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can paint a better picture by telling us where this kid could potentially be in the next 5 years if you continue this way. That way, that would excite investors that, you are actually a social impact, advocate. But most of what we see are PowerPoint presentation. So you need to do a lot more in that regard.
All right. Thank you for that. But then most of these pictures are on our social media platforms anyway. So
see, I am certain that they told you that you'll be presenting before judges, right?
Yeah.
So then one other thing, because I know it's capital intensive, you might want to tell us how many of those grants you've won, if you've won any at all.
Okay.
Your partners, are they local partners or foreign partners? There are institutions, development DFIs outside of Nigeria that are interested in life transformation initiative like this, okay, that can help you to scale this. This is very important in terms of, I mean, if you compare how India, Bangalore in the 40s, how they've grown, their model actually started with something like this. All right. And today you have 3 out of 5 big, the Magnificent 7. 3 out of them are from India. Why? Because they started out with things like this in the 40s. If you are able to paint a similar picture that, okay, we are starting small in a small community, that would also excite investors because they can see a trajectory of your journey.
All right. So in terms of how I've been able to get the resources, I have the pilot phase being sponsored by an NGO in Canada, Azoneta Core.
Then you should put that there, dude. So please, when you are presenting to investors, bring out things that would excite them, not the infographics. Like the former judge, like she said that go down to the specifics, right? Because we don't have time going through all of this, right? Give us a mental picture of the traction and the progress you've made and where you are taking this initiative to. Okay? Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you, sir.
So if it is digital skills, digital literacy, sounding similar to what Pascal said, what was the name of his project again?
Then.
So I just want to find out, how is yours the same or similar? Is it different? Just speak to that. Are you guys doing the same thing or is it totally different? Thank you.
The difference between mine and his is that I am incorporating STEAM education into digital education here. That's just the difference. So this one has STEAM, but his is not having the STEAM education part. So thank you. All right, thank you, everyone.
All right. Okay, I think we can do better than that. Let's give Oluwatobi a clap, a round of applause. All right, let's come back to the room. Hi, everyone. Okay, so we're going to the next innovator. Yeah, we have Oluwatife Agbono, who is doing work in Edu Diet. Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Oluwatife Agbono and I'm the co-founder of Edu Diet Initiative. The picture here represents Bola. Bola is a 12-year-old girl who lives in Shagam. She goes to school every day with her 3 brothers. However, Bola misses school 3 to 5 times in a month because she does not have access to hygiene products. Bola's dad is a carpenter who do not have money to afford these products. As a result, she's forced to go to school like that. And the boys in her class would laugh at her. Bola, your skirt is stained again. And the class is smelling. Bola would cry. This affected Bola. Now it affected her self-esteem. And Bola vowed never to go to school again when she's on her period. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big problem. If I and you can afford it, how about other young girls who can't afford it? When a girl misses school 3 to 5 times, it affects quality education. She won't be able to reach her full potentials. And when she sits at home doing nothing, she's prone to unwanted pregnancy. In Africa, 60% of women and girls do not have access to affordable quality products. And most of them use resource solutions such as rags, tissue papers, newspapers that affect the body system. According to UNICEF, 1 out of 10 girls miss school every month. This is a big problem. Edu Diet Initiative is the sustainable solution. And we are introducing affordable, high-quality, reusable sanitary pads and hygiene education. This sanitary pad is 100% cotton. It can last for 1 year with 5 years guarantee. It's 100% cotton. This sanitary pad is very good, very affordable. It is cost-effective. Imagine you spending 900 every month to buy 1 sanitary pad. That can't even be enough. And if you spend 900 times 12 months, that is 10,800. But Edu Diet Initiative, it's reducing this cost. We are promoting quality education. We are reducing absenteeism. And we are raising a better education for these young girls. Now, growth to action. We've been able to distribute 500 pads in partnership with Rotary Foundation, and we've impacted 10,000 beneficiaries. We've gone to over 20 schools in 3 local governments. We collaborated with 10 medical health centers, and we also collaborated with different kings who came to our outreaches. Scalability, we are creating an awareness campaign. We are promoting affordable long-term solutions. We are reaching more girls, and I'm glad to announce to you that we have ambassadors in Sokoto. Last 2 months, we carried out outreach in Sokoto. We have in Kebbi. So we are expanding using ambassadors. Also, strategic alliances. We are collaborating with NGOs, with corporate sponsors. This is the picture of our production center. We want to have a production center where we are able to build this, where we are able to sell these reusable parts. Our unique selling point lies in giving opportunities to these young girls. When they have the opportunity to act as dealers, they sell these reusable parts, and when they sell it, they get money to afford quality education. Our unique selling point also lies in reducing health problems that can come as a result of these other solutions they use. Also, global impact. Revenue model. Our revenue model. We want to make this will be this is the picture of our production center. And we want to make money from sales of these reusable sanitary pads, training and consulting, but we train different communities, different schools about the use. Digital platform where anybody can access all over the world. Then corporate partners with local merchandise, the Hubo merchandise, the market stores. And also grants and donations. And one pad will sell for 1,000 naira. This is the calculation of 2,000 pads. Then her hack, this is what we want to use the 2 million for. Production, operations, distribution, and marketing. We want to serve 1,000 women in 1 year. Why we have partially solved this problem? Advocating for hygiene education in over 20 schools. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to provide this sustainable solution. And that is why we are here today. And this is what we can do with 2 million naira. Leadership. Small but powerful team. And we have Bridget in our midst, who is currently in China. And I'm glad to announce to you that Bridget is currently helping us build partnerships in China. And we have expanded to over 3 states in Nigeria. This is our team. Ladies and gentlemen, we can work together to make this a solution. Why not partner with Edu Diet Initiative? By promoting affordable, high-quality, reusable sanitary pads, Edu Diet Initiative can promote quality education. Edu Diet Initiative can reduce absenteeism. Edu Diet Initiative can promote quality education and promote a healthier environment for everyone, making these young girls access quality education. Thank you very much. Together we can make a change.
All right. Hello, everyone. Okay, let's come back to the room. At this point, it's just remaining small for us to become Edu Diet ambassadors. So please, let's come back to the room. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Boluwatife. So I'll hand over to the judges now to ask questions. Please, we have 3 minutes for questions, please. Thank you. Question, okay.
Thank you, Boluwatife. Your passion was on another level. Thank you for bringing all of you to the presentation. Just a couple of questions. I see that you sell one pad for 1,000, but I didn't see what it costs to make one pad. I don't know if I missed it. What does it actually cost to make one pad? You can just tell us. It's okay.
So this is the production, the materials. I could not list everything.
No. That's not my question. What's the cost? One unit economics. How much does it cost to make one pad? You're selling one pad 1,000. What does it cost to make?
To make 1,000 to make one pad, it costs 2,000 to make one pad. Sorry, I don't get your question. For 1,000.
Okay, let me try it. How much does it cost to produce one pad? So your landed cost. So I'm selling it at 1,000, but it costs me to make what? X. What's
okay,
that
the
amount?
Cost of materials.
For one. Everything to produce. It's not just materials, right? It looks like you don't have the answer to that. We can move on. It's okay. It's okay. It's something you need to know. Otherwise, your 1,000, how do we know whether that's a profit or loss?
The cost of materials is 700 to make. It's 700. When we buy the cotton, it's 700 to make one pad.
But that's the cost of material. Have you included labor? Have you included everything else that? So you need to think about that, right? It's not just the cost of materials that goes into making it. There's also cost of labor. There's infrastructure. You're using power. You're using whatever. So think about that. So your 1,000 may actually not be as, as you think. My second question is, do you already have a production center, or you are planning to have one?
We are planning. That's why I drew the picture.
That's
we don't
fine.
have one.
What's your capacity today? How many can you make today?
Okay, how many can we make today? We can make 200 because in our house.
In how much? In what time frame?
In 200 in 3 days.
And
yes,
how many?
Depending on the capacity of the people.
And how many people do you currently have making today?
Okay, we have 5. Yes,
okay.
from our team members.
Are they staff or are they volunteers?
They are volunteers. Yes, volunteers.
They're volunteers. So yes. They don't earn a salary today.
No, they are volunteers.
They're volunteers. And my last question is: do you intend to sell this to the girls? So you intend for each girl should have between 2 to 3? You said. So it's not. Or is there any donation part of it, or is completely everybody has to buy one? What's your plan going into?
So we are selling it, and there is also grants and donations. If you get, that's why there's corporate sponsorship. So when we get, we are giving some of them free, and we are selling it also. And we are not just selling it to the girls. We are also going to other public centers. That's why there's an awareness campaign. So that when we get it, we can even give the girls free.
Okay, sorry, I know I said last question before. Do you have any testimonials from anyone who has used it in terms of how has it served them? How has it impacted? So you talked about missing days of school. Do you have any data to show that since this girl started to use it, she has gone back to school, the number of missed days has gone down, her self-esteem has gone up? Do you have any testimonials, data to show any of that?
The outreach we did, we have testimonial. Wherever the testimonial is, I just put the picture, the one we did with Rotary, because one of our team members he was the past president of Rotary. So we have other people. We have people who can do it in Rotary. So we have testimonials.
So maybe just an advice, and I think everybody has said that earlier. Some things pull at people's heartstrings, right? I think sometimes people give money for various reasons. I want to give money because I can see my return on investment. It's huge. I like this idea. Some other people, it is when you talk about the impact and the fact that there are people who are now who wasn't able to go to school. So Molade, as an example, missed 20 days of school last year because of this. Now she's missed 0 days of school. She's doing well in school. She's excelling, and she's even running for head girl, as an example. You need to be able to tell those stories as well, so that you never know where the sort of impact is coming from.
We have stories like that.
Yes, but you didn't tell us. That's the point. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Bulatife, well done. Energy. Lots and lots of energy. And I love it. Absolutely love it. My question to you is, have you considered training the girls to create their own pads? Is that something you've considered? Yes. Or is it purely just a business? Oh, did she mention it?
Yes, it's in our site, training and consulting. Okay. Yes, it's there.
Oh, sorry, I totally missed that. Apologies if you mentioned it. So the plan is to train the girls as well to create their own pads as well, and they can then sell their own pads as well. Pretty good, thank you.
Well done. I don't want to reiterate what my other co-judges have said, but there is still more you could have put into the presentation that could have answered. So like she mentioned, testimonials from the people and then the impact too. So you have statistics showing girls do miss school a few times a day in a month. But now those girls who you've provided this pad to or who have purchased, do you have stories from them saying like, oh, because of this, I've been able to go to school every day, even when I'm on my period? Also, you didn't speak much on hygienic facility. I saw some pictures there, which you also need to consider in the future. When they are producing the pads, they should at least it should be in a sanitary facility, at least wearing gloves and things. So those are things you need to consider when you're setting up your production sites. Those it's a female hygiene product, so obviously it needs to be produced in a sanitary hygienic facility. Okay. So you need to consider those.
Okay, thank you. Can I respond to that?
Yeah, sure.
Currently, we've partnered We've partnered with this liquid soap, yes, a liquid soap producer. So it's part of when we go to these schools, because we've partnered with USAID team in Shagam, the medical doctors, we have 10 of them who are our partners. So when we go to these schools, the liquid soap producer, she brings this liquid soap and we give it to these schools. We even do medical checkup for these girls. So we have hygiene products. We have the liquid.
No, what I'm talking about is the production of the pad. So let me use something else as an example to make you understand. Sorry, one house, please. When you're cooking, for example, in your house, or would you eat food from somewhere where you see them cooking where there are rats, cockroaches, ants? No, you wouldn't. So it's the same thing with producing the pads. It needs to be in a hygienic environment, and that's what I'm explaining, that you need to consider the people, the cleanliness of the people who are producing the pads, and ensuring they are wearing safety like gloves, aprons, and they are clean when producing. You need to think about that and put that as part of your selling point.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bolu Atife, well done. I like people with a lot of energy, especially positive energy. I struggle with the name and, you know, the the goal and what you try. As an investor, we like to relate the name of the company or the name, whatever it is you are selling, your product, to the goal and the service or the offerings. So when you said Edu Diet, maybe you tell us why Edu Diet, because there's a disconnect between the name and the service and the social impact you're trying to offer. That's number one. Number two, I think this goes to the facilitators. Those facilitating you guys, they need to do a bit more work with regards to the numbers and how to present good numbers, whether you are for profit or not for profit, okay? Because, like I said earlier, numbers, you know, they tell the truth, they don't lie at all. So your ability to present the numbers in a manner that you, as the owner of the business, you understand everything, and when somebody is asking you, on tip of your finger, you can just say the number, especially with this level of passion that you've demonstrated. If somebody is asking you how much it costs for 1 unit, you should be able to tell the person, looking at the person in the eye, it cost me, you know, 1 naira or 2 naira, without having to go to your slide. Do you understand? And that is born out of your understanding of the power of the numbers and how important that is. Your numbers and projections, they are as good as the ideas themselves. You cannot disconnect both of them. So please, to the facilitators going forward, I think that they should pay more attention to that. I think that's it for me. Other questions have been asked by the previous judges.
All right, thank you, sir. So for the name, when we came up with the name, it was during our Teach for Nigeria fellowship. And the problem we discovered then was diet, nutrition. And we saw that the problem now is beyond nutrition. And it's beyond nutrition. And also, we can always rebrand. Of course, companies do rebranding. And we have even considered rebranding.
If I sit down here and you're presented to me as an investor, you've lost me from the first. I mean, because, again, investors have very little patience for your pitch. And that's why they tell you that, I don't know if you've heard of elevator pitch before. You tell an investor in 2 minutes. There's a reason why they allocated 5 minutes to you. And so far, all of you guys, and I'm sorry to say this, you've not been able to, you know, in a very concise and precise manner, sell to us within 5 minutes what your offerings, you know, your goals are within 5 minutes, together with the numbers. And again, that's my advice to the facilitators, that they shouldn't train you guys to do that. So back to the correlation between the name and the offering or the service. If there's a disconnect, you've completely lost that investor. There must be a correlation. Leave branding till a future time. In fact, from the beginning, we're not even talking about branding. Tell us the story behind the name, all right, and how that translates to the service or connect to the service or social impact you're trying to make.
Okay, sir. We will rebrand. Thank you, sir. Yes, we are considering rebranding. Thank you, sir.
Sorry, maybe it's just a comment for everyone. You actually don't really need to give a response to every single question. Sometimes it's actually okay to say, thank you for that feedback. We will take it back. And yeah, so sometimes when you try to give a response, you actually dig in yourself into a bigger hole. Yeah.
All right, that's it. Okay, please let's appreciate Bolu Atife. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next innovator, the co-founder of Kids Nurture Initiative. Let's welcome Tolulokpe Adegbemile. So please, our innovators, when you're pitching, please make sure to stand here so that our online audience can connect with you, and then put the mic closer to your mouth so that everyone can hear. Thank you.
Hi everyone. I'm Tolulope Adigbemile, co-founder Kids Nurture Initiative. Imagine you are a teacher in a classroom teaching and you found that a girl in your class was throwing tantrums. Naturally, you feel angry and want to punish the child. But on the other hand, you may pause and want to ask, what really is wrong with the child? Naturally, you will be angry and want to punish the child. But on the other hand, you may want to pause and ask what really is wrong with the child. And what if you ask the girl, and the girl tells you that, I am hungry and I have not had a meal since yesterday afternoon? That was the case with Imole. Who was Imole? Abdurazak is a boy with similar scenario. In fact, Abdurazak's case can be described as worse because he missed school a lot of times due to the problem of hunger and malnutrition. We can say that Abdurazak had to deal with a lot of hunger strikes and hunger crisis. These are just a few of the cases that we experience as teachers in low-income communities in underserved schools. Many children According to UNICEF, in 2020, 10.5 million children were out of school, and 2.5 million out of these children were out of school due to hunger and malnutrition. That is to say, 3 out of 10 children in underserved schools, they come to school on empty stomachs. It also means that the remaining 7 children out of the 10, they don't even have good meals that contains the nutrients and micronutrients that are essential for their brain development to attain better educational outcomes. So far, we have distributed over 10,000 meals to 180 plus pupils between the ages of 3 to 8 in an underserved school, Ijebu Imushin in Ogun State. How do we do this? We source for food materials and food produce from local farmers and local markets. We ensure that these food materials are well prepared in an hygienic environment and distributed effectively and efficiently. We also ensure that we track the academic performances, we track the body mass index of the children week in, week out to measure and ensure that our key performance indicators are on point. Our impact so far. Parents no longer need to worry about what their children will eat before they go to school. Parents who will before have to delay their child enrollment into school no longer need to worry about that. As we've seen 90% increase in school attendance and 60% increase in school enrollment rate. Because of these meals that the children get, they have been able to develop antibodies. They have been able to develop their immune system such that they now have fewer sickness episodes. Also, from the reports that we've gotten from teachers and the testimonials from parents, we have been able to see that our feeding program has enhanced the psychosocial development of the of the pupils and their cognitive abilities have also been improved. In the next 5 to 10 years, we plan to have a functioning hydroponics farm to cater for all-round supply of fruits and vegetables. So we don't have to buy all food produce that we need all year round. We also plan to expand to 10 states in Nigeria, across Nigeria, within the next 5 to 10 years and impact 10 million children. We are also planning to introduce a functional protein drink that is fortified with all the essential vitamins and minerals that is essential for the proper brain development of children in the underserved communities. By doing all of this, we are going to be creating more job employment for graduates and for residents of the communities that we are impacting. Ms. Oluwaseun, the founder, who is currently having a PhD in food microbiology, she would have been here but for a maternity leave. I am Tolulope Adegbemile, and I am a graduate of agricultural engineering. Our procurement officer, Victoria, is a graduate of sociology. Our hydroponic consultant, Ayeni, is a graduate has her MSc in agronomy. Our consultant nutritionist, Patient, also has an MSc in dietetics and nutrition. Our feeding supervisor at ABC has a master's in educational management, and our head of fundraising team, Olukayode, also is currently running his PhD in educational management and evaluation. Our partners, Kunle Azan Eye Foundation Academy, has been our major donor right from the outset of this project, and they've been able to...
Okay, I have to interrupt you at this point because 5 minutes is up. Yeah, actually compensated for the tech issue, so yeah. So we have our judges ask questions. Please, 3 minutes.
So, awesome presentation, well done, Tolulope. My question is around which I found really interesting, the hydroponics farm, and how you plan to develop that. Would that be through funding? Would that be part of the funding that you'd receive through this? And also a great opportunity, which I don't think you've mentioned, but is to work with local farmers, and what your thoughts are around that, and is that something that you're considering to do as well?
Yes, so I'm going to answer the first question with this slide. The 2 million naira grant will help us to actually launch the hydroponics farm, and we did the budgeting, and we realized that we are going to need 1.9 million naira to be able to launch that and do something very tangible. And because we are very we are trying to also cut salaries. We want to really take advantage of having volunteers from the community that we are going to train and employ, and they are going to be residents of that community. So they are going to help us in our management and expansion, so that will be a sustainable initiative. And in addition to this, we are also looking at having senior pupils from the school where this farm will be located. We are looking at ensuring that it will be an opportunity for them to learn about circularity and sustainable agricultural practices, which will be an hands-on and practical thing for them to really, really benefit. So that is the answer to the first question. And the second question about collaboration with local farmers. So part of those that are going to enjoy the training that we are going to do will be the local farmers, and they are going to really benefit from that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tolulope.
Thank you.
How many meals do you currently do? 180. Is it 1 meal a day? Do you feed
180 pupils.
Yeah, do you feed them once a day?
Yes.
Okay, what does it cost to feed one child?
400 naira.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask, how do you plan to scale this in the future? What are your, aside from the partnership, if there's any other idea you are considering, How do you plan? Because it's sounding is like the government feed a child at school project, right? So
Yes.
is this something like that? Is this similar, or do you also want to work with governments and states that want to implement such projects, or you just want to go your own solo?
Although currently we are going solo, but we are very interested in partnering with the government, especially if the government are willing or, yes, are interested in tapping into how we monitor the key performance indicators of how this school feeding program is connected. I think I have to. It's connected to the educational outcomes that we are trying to project. And because the school feeding program that we run is for children aged 3 to 8, that is KG to primary 1. The government model actually covers for primary 1 to primary 3. So we intentionally focused on that lower age because they are at the critical stage whereby their brain is still developing, and we feel that, not that we feel, but from our research we see that they need it most because they are more affected as younger children. So we believe we can be attracted or attractive to government, and that way we can partner with government and ensure that they are able to see what we do as what they can support. And I forgot to mention that we are also looking at the aspect of monitoring and evaluation, because with the government, with the government feeding program, there are gaps in mismanagement of funds somehow, and there are also some sort of gaps around how the food prepared actually is quality enough, meets the standard, required standard, and gets to the target children, such that a lot of things are not missing along the line. So we are looking at filling in that gap too. So that's what we are looking at with the government. And thinking about how we can self-sustain, the drink, the fortified protein-rich fortified drink that we are still researching on, if that is launched, we can also do some sort of selling the drinks to the public, while the cash generated from that can be redirected to fund the feeding program. Thank you.
So the drink is like a Coca-Cola, a bottling business entirely?
No, it is not like Coca-Cola. It is.
And the drink is not for the children, it's for the public?
No. The drink is for the children.
Oh, I thought you said you...
It's for the children. It's for the children. Because it contains all the vitamins, it is specially formulated. So it's for the children. So what we are looking at is actually still selling it to the public, to parents who have children who will be interested in such type of drink. I mean, people, high-income earners, parents who are high-income earners would be so interested in that type of drink that is fortified. And when they buy from us, we can take that cash and redirect it into our program. That's what I mean.
Awesome. Finally, in your own opinion, I don't know if you've thought about it with your co-founders, do you think feeding children at school with is critical, and also running an hydroponics farm, which is like a backward integration for you guys, and finally running a drink production business? Do you think can you guys do all those things together? Are they the same? Can you juggle all those balls at the same time as a growing business?
Okay. Yes, we can do that. We can do that because we have capable team members that are specialists in the areas, in the core areas that we are trying to branch into. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you.
Again, I'm struggling with the name of the project. Okay, so when you say Kids Nurture Initiative, I would assume that you're trying to build an ecosystem, all right, around a child, and you're taking the child through a journey of transforming the child's life, okay, to something. I mean, best possible version of that child in the next 5 years. But this narrows it down to just feeding. So I'm thinking, are you a food drive initiative or a meal intervention? Because when you say nurturing, okay, you must build something around that nurturing, not just feeding. And don't get me wrong, I know feeding is very essential. But you don't just want to feed a child. You also want to do learning. So if you're building with the initiative, Kids Nurture Initiative, I would expect you to take it one step further and have partnerships with those who do learning. You started with farming, and my colleague here was asking, okay, are you doing farming in addition to that, which is backward integration? But beyond that would be learning, sporting activities, if you have a program for that, healthcare, to ensure that not only are you feeding them, but you are feeding them with the right nutrition. That is nurturing, in my own view. So when I hear nurturing, I'm not just thinking about only feeding. I'm thinking about how this child would turn out in the next 1 or 2 years to be the best version of himself, and he's not suffering from kwashoko, or because you are feeding him with too much carbs, and he's not suffering from, he's not learning in school because all he thinks about is he wants to come to school to eat. So when you are carving this initiative, it's important that you look at it holistically and not just in one direction. Thanks.
Thank you very much. So,
just in addition to the learning part, I did see you had some measurements. You had impact measurements on enrollment and retention, but like he said, there was nothing relating to learning. So, what evidence have you gotten in with these schools that you have here, showing that before the feeding initiative, like this was their performance, but when you introduced it, that they're learning, there was learning improvement in those same children too? Do you have that statistics?
Yes, so that's like how many...
What impact did your feeding have on the children?
Academic performance?
Yes. So was learning improved? Because it's not just, you can encourage them to come to school, but are they learning?
Yes, so they are learning. The children that teachers will complain usually to us that they are restless and less motivated to participate in class activities and even school-wide activities. We get reports from teachers now that they are calmer, their retention capacity has increased, they are asking them questions and they are not just looking like what's happening, what are they saying.
Then you can only prove that evidence with the assessments the school provides.
So yes.
So if the class, for example, these children, let's not even okay, based on enrollment at the beginning of the term, because they started this feeding program, you increased enrollment by X percentage.
Okay.
Now you have 100 pupils in these classes.
Okay.
Before you started the program, this was a grade level. Now that you started this program, maybe after a term or a session, this is a grade level, this is a performance. Maybe you had 90% of them below average. Now you have 80% above average.
Yes.
So those kind of measurements are also good to show.
Okay, thank you very much.
It's a good initiative, but I think you still need to do a lot of more thought process to it. You also mentioned something. What do you actually feed them? Because you mentioned about the government not being nutritious. What is your food package? What do you feed them?
Oh, so we do rice, beans, and vegetable with fish. We do beans and fried plantain. We do bread and tea plus egg. We do apple
and
plus...
This is at the beginning of the...
So
before once they come into school, they get this, or during lunch
that's
time?
during break time. Yes. So we also, on certain days, they can also have watermelon plus apple and pineapple. On some other days, they could have chicken and jollof rice. Yes, chicken and jollof rice. And yam porridge on other days. Yes, food price has skyrocketed. And yes, so recently I and my founder, we thought about getting yams from Ekiti because that is where she is currently based. And yes, we thought about logistics, the cost of transport, but because they are far cheaper over there than the school is located in Ogun State, Ijebu, Imoshi. Yes. So we have started working on how we can get food produce from from locations where they are cheaper and not just from the immediate local market. Although we know that logistics is going to kind of cause some, we're not going to let our maths really work out, but we are thinking of innovative ways to do something about that. Thank you.
All right, let's appreciate Tolulokwe some more. Let's give him a clap. Okay, well done. So to the next innovator, Babajide Ajayi, who is going to talk about the Warriors projects. Let's give him a plus and a plus as it comes up. Yes, thank
you. Good morning. I think so. Afternoon now. Okay. Good afternoon. Okay. I met Ahmed. Ahmed was rejected by 3 schools. Local schools, eventually. Why? He has sickle cell. Why are you rejecting because of sickle cell? And it's because it's going to give us a problem. So what's the problem about sickle cell? Sickle cell, I can only paint it for you. If you're not a warrior, you might not be able to get the pain. It's like you prepared for today and you marked all your check-ins and all of that, getting set for today. And over the night, something just happened. You don't know. Your health measures was nice. And you woke up this morning and you feel a deep, sharp knife pain like in your bones. And all you could do is cancel this appointment. And that's what children with sickle cell go through. Even as they get prepared for school, they don't know whether they will make it to the next class. We have about 150,000 babies born with this disease every year. Actually, about 80% of them die before their teenage years. Nigeria is the highest number globally. And why are they dying? Lack of some basic things a nation should have, and we don't have them. Even parents in these deep local communities are not helping matters because they just feel we love each other, let's move on, and it tells back on them. Actually, this does not just stop at their health, it's cascaded into their education. It cascaded into education that by them missing school, missing classes, so they can't learn. They can't do what every other child does. The Warriors Project actually came in, met this boy who was rejected 3 years by 3 local schools, and we had a conversation with the teacher and some other teacher why he did that. I know we are not trained for that. Just let him go to another school. Fortunately, we found a school who was learned enough. Those people who were able to look at it, they are also local schools. That means there is another problem of teacher involvement of this. We looked at our holistic approach, and one of them actually is helping the immediate problem, which is their health. How can we stabilize these children? How can we get that crisis down? And we provided a routine checkup on them by providing their routine drugs. There are basic routine drugs that some parents don't even know they should have for these children. And so, even if that is sorted, their crisis level will go down. Then they can go to school. then they can learn. Secondly, we looked at how far we can look at their emotional well-being. A boy who was rejected by 3 schools, what should be going on in his mind? It means that you don't want me, you don't want me, you don't want me. Then what am I here for? So we looked at their emotional well-being, and we're able to come up with some assessment on how we can get them to be a better version of themselves and get a mind shift set. Also, in collaboration with their community, though, and also the last approach we came for was to help them in their education aspect. In collaboration with their teacher, we're able to give them personalized training, personalized support education-wise, and so that we can check their track in their education and how far they are improving as they go to school. Second, sorry, I forgot I had this. Okay, so we enrolled 20 students so far, and over the 20, we have had 80% improvement in health. What do we mean? That is, 80% of these guys have actually been able to, people who were not able to go to school for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, can now make it to school for over the 12 weeks with less visit to the doctor.
I have to interrupt you, Babajide. Time is up. Okay. Yeah, they would actually do that as is answering questions. They would do that.
Thank
Let's
you.
give him a round of applause. Yeah. Okay, so judges, okay, do you want to go through his slides first? Or you have a question?
Well done, thank you. And you know, you were almost telling us a story, and we were like, okay, this movie should not end. All right. Anyways, back to where we are here. I wanted to find out, just looking at your impact and the 80% that had that level of increase, I'm keen to know what's happening and what has happened to the other 20% that didn't make that cut. Can you just help me speak to that?
Does it make the
80% got better. What happened to the other 20% of them?
Some parents are not helping. Some schools still don't want them. So these 20% are still struggling in their health. Some have intense, so crisis, sickle cell crisis have levels. Some are quite intense than the others. And so before those guys could actually scale, or we can see an impact in them, it has to take some time.
Okay, so my second question will be, on what basis are you doing this? Are you a doctor, or on what basis are you doing this passionately? Thank you.
Okay, so I'm not a doctor, I'm an educator, and one of the basic skills of an educator is to observe, find a point, collaborate with people, and know where solution lies. Then you can help your students. However you want to help them. You don't have to be skilled in that part. So I'm able to locate their local healthcare. Some of those parents don't even know this local healthcare can save my child, can help my child. So I'll collaborate them, I'll mix them together. There's a doctor here who can help your child to feel better, to do better. And I'm an educator. With my fellow educator, we measure the impacts of the academics. And also, we organize conferences for the community to make sure their emotional stabilities are signed.
Well done. It's a good initiative. Sickle cell doesn't get spoken about a lot or enough. How do you plan to? Where's the end goal with this? Like, what's the plan?
Okay, so the end goal is this. I want to see sickle cell warrior go through these hurdles, but have a better chance to life. What do I mean? Like every other colleague, you know. What do I mean? That even as this thing tells on them, they are not one giving up. They are skilled enough to help themselves, to take that power in their own hands and become better version of what the community thought they could not be. That's my end goal.
It's a laudable initiative, and I totally encourage you. I would say maybe you need to do more regarding sustainability. How do you, so that it can continue, you know, because that's not coming out clear to me now, as in how you intend to make it sustainable. But well done.
Sustainability. Thank you.
Just take it in, right? Well done. This is a very sensitive topic, and it's very topical because I can imagine the number of kids out there, even those in their 30s and 40s, going through this. You did not touch on a question that was asked, that what motivates you, what drives you to do this? And you started out with a story that kept every one of us, you know, glued to your story, that we even forgot about the slides. And for an investor, we like to look at those body language, personal stories, unsaid words, and we could see all of that in you. But for some reason, you dodged that. I don't know why. If it's something private to you, fine. I mean, that's okay. But this is a very sensitive issue. And you should be able to explain to anybody listening to you why you are going into it, because not so many people would want to go into this. So you are not in it for the money, clearly. You are in it to touch the lives of those that are going through this. I'm very close to tears right now because it touches deep down into my own marrows as well. So if, while you're pitching these, beyond this session, make sure that you allow your vulnerability. Investors love that because they know that you will not steal their money, that you will pursue this particular course to its logical conclusion. I just want to say that well done. I really appreciate you coming today.
All right, thank you so much. All right, thank you so much, Babajide. Well done. To move quickly, I'd like to welcome Shulamite Ajayi, who is going to share about VSEF, Vocational Skills and Empowerment Foundation. Let's clap for her. She comes up, please.
Good day, everyone. My name is Shulamite Ajayi, and I'm the founder of Vocational Skills and Empowerment Foundation, popularly known as Vocational Stars. I'd like to tell you a story of my sister, Mercy Ademola, who is the firstborn of our family, and unfortunately was unable to secure a white-collar job many years, specifically 15 years, after graduating from University of Ilorin, which crushed the hopes of my parents and even herself, but had to start learning a skill, which is fashion design, to be able to cater for herself and for her family. Unlike me, who had the opportunity to learn fashion design immediately after I left secondary school, and which came in very handy for me in the course of my life. She and many more Nigerian youths are facing this problem, and that is why the National Bureau of Statistics states that 53.4% of Nigerian youths are unemployed, with over 104 million people living in poverty. And even with this, just 10% of Nigerian schools offer vocational training. This is worrisome, but this is where we come in. At Vocational Stars, we offer comprehensive vocational training of a 6 to 8 weeks intensive vocational training at our impact school. And at the same time, we are leveraging our online learning platform to expand our reach to many students across the country. What makes us stand out is the fact that we have a target audience, and these are secondary school students or primary school students within the ages of 13 and 20. We target them, and we have a team called Catch Them Young. At this point, we expose them to career opportunities, and we train them across vocational skills in which they are interested in. You might wonder, what makes us different, and what really makes us unique? What makes us unique, like I said earlier, is our target audience. And apart from our physical training at impact schools, we are also building an online learning platform, which is called Vox. This platform is going to be like an online institution for vocational training. And not just about this, we'll be able to offer skills, access, and we'll leverage on all our facilitators, experienced and expert facilitators across the vocational skills that we offer. You might wonder, why invest in vocational training? I would like to tell you today that the vocational training market is valued at over 1.3 trillion naira in 2022 with a growing rate of 10% according to research and market. And even the online vocational training market is valued at over $3.5 billion in 2022 with a growing rate of 20% by 2025. And even in Nigeria, the number of enrolled school learners, primary school and secondary school, is over 35.9 million. This is huge. But with just these students, we just want to pitch and target on 0.05% of these learners across, with 0.05% to be able to reach 20,000 students. Now, what we do is broad. Apart from our online platform, we also have our physical platform, which requires a lot of funding. But with the 2 million naira investment from Teach for Nigeria, which we are hoping to get, we'll be able to fully develop our online learning platform with a comprehensive training forum. We've tested it, and we are eager to share with you that ever since we started in 2022, we have successfully impacted over 510 students through our physical trainings across 3 different schools in Lagos State and across 10 different vocational skills based on the interest of the students. Additionally, we have 100 enrolled students in our test run online learning platform that we just concluded 2 months ago. Additionally, while we get the investment from Teach for Nigeria Incubation Hub to be able to fully develop our online learning platform, which is Vox, we will also hire a web developer, which will help us to fully develop our platform and execute our courses, and we'll also hire skilled facilitators that will help us to create content that are relatable for children within these ages to be able to relate with and for them to be able to do this. I don't do this alone. Like I said, I'm the founder. I have amazing team members. I have Anthony, which is our website developer, and I also have our content creators that will help us in the product marketing to be able to create content that are relatable and select our target-based audience, target-based audience where they are located, especially Instagram, Facebook, to be able to market our product continuously. Our feedbacks, our testimonials are beyond amazing. In the background view is an award competition that the learners we train were able to secure a grand prize of 500,000 naira and even 1 million naira from Project I Community through STEM vocational skills. Thank you.
Right on time. Okay, our judges.
Thank you, Mercy. It was Mercy, right?
Shulamite.
Shulamite, sorry. Thank you. Thank you so much for your presentation. So I have a couple of questions. It seems like you're really pushing for the online platform here. But before that, maybe it was just me. I actually didn't get the vocational skills you were actually training on. You didn't actually state or you didn't mention what they were. So what are the skills areas that you're training on?
Thank you for your question. So one of the skills we offer, there are 10 of them, and I'll start by saying STEM vocational skills, which is based on students applying chemistry, physics concepts that are taught into creating innovative projects. On our stand, I have a steamer bottle that is made by one of the learners. This bottle just warm up at the push of a button. By charging that bottle, you get your cold water anytime you want. This was made by these students that we trained. And apart from STEM vocational skills, we offer fashion design, graphic design, catering. We have barbing. we have photography, we have coding, and we also have textile design. So we don't bombard them with all of this. So when we go to our impact school, for example, at Lagos State Senior Model College, Baduri, before starting, we conduct a baseline survey to ask the students their areas of interest in the skills. And we check what we have. That is our materials, our facilitators. Then we see if we can help them out by empowering them with these skills. And eventually, for Lagos State Senior Model College, Baduri Aja, we were able to successfully empower them with 8 different vocational skills. You might also wonder that how are we getting the personnel that we have. So we leverage on the teachers in the school, we leverage on our volunteers, and we also leverage on our own expertise. My team members themselves, they have their expert skills in which they are good at. Like Adetomiwa Awofeso is a fashion designer who is the head of facilitator, and she uses her skill to also train the students. At the same time, me, I'm a chemistry teacher, and at the same time, I'm a fashion designer. I teach them fashion design, and I also teach them tote bag making. So the teachers in the school too.
Okay, I think you have made your point.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. But so I don't know what STEM vocational training is. So maybe that's just me. But maybe we can see your stand later, and you can explain that a bit more.
All right. Thank you.
But the online platform, how many of these skills are transferable to an online platform that can be taught in a way that you said you already have 100 people enrolled or so. Yes. So it would be great to understand which skills are on the online platform. The students that have gone through the 100 students, what is the completion rate and the success rate? And then what is the so what? So I've now learned this skill. What have I now done with it? I hope you understand.
Thank you very much for the question. On the online learning platform, we are building it. But to test run the skills that we're going to upload, with the 100 that I mentioned, is for the free online summer training that we did 2 months ago. And we focused on 3 skills. Fashion design, that is basics of fashion design. We did tote bag making. And the third one, we did graphics design. Yes. So now, when we're talking about fashion design, there are various aspects of fashion design. So for the online, it's easy for them to relate with it, how to make a skirt, how to make a dress, and so on.
Okay, so for the interest of time, you have these 3 skills. Those that went through it for the summer program, what has been the outcome? So 100 people went through it, 10 people are now doing this, or some X number is now making money from it or generating revenue. Do you have any of that?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. For the 100 of them, I'll state one, which this is a testimonial for one of the participants from the online platform, where she participated in fashion design. They do not know anything on how to sew. So at the beginning of that free summer training, we had 2 goals in mind. The first is to expose them to why they need vocational skills, and also equip them with the vocational skill, and also for us to be able to see how easy it is for people to learn through the platform. So eventually they were able to make the project, because when you start the project, we tell them at the completion of this summer training, you're going to have an assessment. And the assessment, that is the project you're given. For example, they were taught how to make a dress, like a top. So you have to do it. So eventually they are able to make it. So this online learning platform was like a free class introduction. And after that, they'll be given an advanced training section, which is a paid platform, which it will help them to, have more expertise and also make money by making, these dresses. These lessons don't come at once. They have to continuously learn.
Thank you, Shirley. I wanted to find out the 6 to 8 weeks. How do you guys operationalize that? Do you go to these schools every day, every week? And say, for instance, if it is fashion you're teaching them, your facilitators, the teachers, do they go with their machines, machineries, materials? And do you do that for all the other skills that you train? That's one. The second part will be, as an educator, do you think learning a vocational skill while targeting the demography that you're targeting, and given that they are still in school, do you think that would be a concern or maybe even a distraction? I don't know. I just needed to speak to that. The third one will be, sorry, I don't know if it is too much. I just wanted to get it off my head. Transitioning them online to a platform, an LMS, whatever. How about their accessibility, ability to have device, to have internet, to still be able to learn? Is that possible, or are you assuming that everybody in those low income and underserved community already have devices and internet? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. I'll start with the third, and I'll go to the second and the first. Firstly, the online learning platform. Pardon me, I was unable to mention that we are having a division in the sense that in the terms of giving impact, we focus on low-income schools like free schools, like public schools in which we've gone to, and this is where we do our physical training. So for the online platform, it's more or less like an icing on the cake for private schools that can afford our services, which is what we are already doing. We are seeking partnership with private schools that can pay for that service. So imagine if a student in a private school is paying 30,000 naira for 6 to 8 weeks in person. The parents that are paying, sending their children to school, they want to see what you're doing, like the skills you are imparting them, what impact is it making? Or let me even see, what are they even teaching you? So they can easily have access to Vox, which is online learning platform that we're introducing. And about it interfering with school activities and stuff like that, our mission is to bridge the gap between traditional education and hands-on vocational training. And you agree with me here today that many people today have one thing or the other that is special about them. And during the school time, we come with an agreement with the school authority. When we have conversations with them, we tell them, which time can you give us? At the schools we've impacted, we go on Wednesdays, which is their co-curricular activity, between 1 to 2, but we extend 1 to 3, enough time for Wednesday, and also weekends. Lagos State Senior Model Work, Badore, and Lagos State Senior Model College, Agowa Ikosi, they are boarding schools, so the students are in the school. So we also conduct those trainings for them on weekends. So it doesn't in any way interfere with the school activities. And eventually we do exhibitions, which their parents are invited, they see what they are doing. And in fact, it's not just the skills. At Lagos State Senior Model College, Badore, for example, the students during the training, they told me, for the fashion designers, that they want to make tote bags and give it to other less privileged students. And I'm like, oh, really? Eventually, they made 50 bags and donated 30 to 2 orphanage homes in that vicinity. So it's helping them, preparing them, and exposing them to career. And Abana David, I would like to mention, is a graduate of LSSMC as well. He enrolled in a graphic design when he was in SS2. As at that time, he told me he's not sure he wants to be a doctor, but, you know, everybody is saying it. But after that graphic design, he told me that, Miss Shuli, I know what I want to do now. And I'm like, what is it? He said, I want to study computer science. I want to expand more on my creativity. And good to it, he shared good news with me that he gained admission to Federal University of Oyo Ekiti to study computer science. So we are building them, not just now, but for them to transcend beyond the classroom.
Well done. Just quick one. I know you mentioned Badore as one of the locations where you have done your work. Where else have you, do you do this?
Lagos State Senior Model College, Agbowa Ikosi Ekpe. That's the second school. And the third school is Wayena Children Foundation at Makoko here in Lagos State.
So for your online vocational training, what stands you out from someone just logging into YouTube and getting a free course that they don't have to pay for?
Thank you very much, ma'am, for the question. When you go to YouTube to learn skills, because I also leverage on YouTube sometimes, if you ask questions in the comment section on what you just watched, they really do not respond most of the time, and you have to start searching all around. So when you come to our platform, you log into Vox. If it's the free courses that you go for, you have the courses uploaded, and if it is our premium courses that we have to offer, our facilitators are there to answer your questions. So apart from clicking, you are building a community of facilitators, of alumni, and of students. That is enrolled students. So they know that when you go to Vox, you're not just going there to watch videos. You are going there, there's an assignment, there's a project you have to do. If you do not upload the project, there's no way you'll be able to get your certificate. An additional part of it is that, for example, students that learn how to make tote bags, a section of the Vox is for them to upload their products, and people that visit our website will be like, oh, I like this bag, I want to order. So if you don't complete what you are asked to, you'll not be able to activate a means for you to trade on our online learning platform. So it's more or less like giving people skills, also giving them the means to sell themselves and also make money on our platform. So it's not just going to YouTube to learn skills alone. Thank you.
Thank you. Well done. Good presentation. A lot of energy. You clearly have passion for this.
Thank you.
I was hoping you would shed more light on soft skills, okay? Because this particular space, there are a lot of opportunities and demand for this service. But most of us have had experiences of the character or the behavior of the people with this particular set of skills, right? And your unique selling points or competitive advantage can be trying to ensure that your graduates from that school are one that, you know, you've imbibed in them a particular set of soft skills such that they are known for a certain level of behavior, if you understand what I'm saying. So,
yes.
Yeah, character formation, that's number one. Then two, you need to begin to look for partners or look for a platform where you can project their skills out, okay? Like On-Demand, for instance, okay? That's a platform that some of us are familiar with, right? You can build a platform on top of these where jobs are readily available for them, and the people coming out of your platform are people that are known for a particular set of, you know, skills and character. That way you are creating a niche for yourself. That's number two. Number three, are you able to recycle them? Okay, let them go back to be the trainer for new, you know, new upcoming or new entrants into your community.
Thank you very much for the question. I would also like to share that there's a particular student from Lagos. I will just state one, Abdulmojid Salmo. She enrolled in fashion design, which I trained her. And for the free online training that we did, she was one of the facilitators for fashion design. So we leverage on the student because we are the one that trained them. I know you can do this. You did it. I've seen it. You're certified. You're good. So they come back to help us to train enrolled students for all these free services that we do. And going forward, if they are available on ground, you know, we also leverage on the fact that they will work as facilitators for our course content creation because most of them are already in university. So if they are able to spare some time during their holidays, you know, we can work around creating content, you know, training content in the skills that we offer for all of this. And even I'll keep saying Lagos State Senior Model College Badger because that is where I have most of the time, and I relate very, very well with the learners there. The STEM vocational training that we do is one thing that stands us out at that school. Abana David, Iradia Williams, they were the one that did this team bottle that is on the display table. These learners were a 2022 set that I trained. They are the ones that now trained the 2023 set that I had last year on winning the last slide that I shared, where they won 500,000 naira from STEMite Zone Fair, where they made 2 projects. They made green risers ash harnessing nature's byproducts for recycling, and they also made a magnetic stirrer that they exhibited to, you know, for the competition, and they won. So the whole thing, the students are coming back because they know that we did so much for them. So they are willing. In fact, they keep asking, anything coming up, I want to come back to come and train the next set.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Shulamite. Well done. Because of time, we will have to move very quickly, right? Innovators still have 5 minutes, but for our judges, we'll only be able to take just one question. Yeah, because of time. Okay, so we're going to go to the next innovator who will be sharing about what he's doing. Just give me a minute. So the next, innovator is the founder of Ways to Design, Nabuike Collins. All right, so let's give him an applause.
How can you engage a classroom of over 70 students without instructional material? My name is Odike Nabike Collins, and I'm the founder of Ways to Design Creation. Now, what's the problem we are trying to address? Across Nigeria, there are over 65,000 public primary schools, including early child care development education, serving a total of over 39 million students. Of these, 82% of these schools, with over 53,000 schools, are located in rural areas, more than 21 million students. Now, you agree with me that despite the broad distribution of these schools in this local region, they suffer severe challenge. Instructional material is one of them. Now, here is a case in Ilara. Ilara is a small community in Ogun State that have a close proximity with Benin Republic. This small community has 17 primary schools. And these 17 primary schools are serving a population of over 60,000. If this sampling is correct, that means we have over 21 million children who are going to school every day but are learning without instructional material. You can imagine what their learning outcomes looks like. Now, to compound this problem is the growing environmental challenge, which is plastic waste in this local community. Now, we discovered that, yes, these are the problems we've discovered in these communities. Overcrowded classroom, inadequate instructional material to teach or engage these children, limited teacher training on how to engage this instructional material, and environmental challenge is what the plastic waste we are seeing. Now, what is our solution? Now, our solution is simple. We are unanimously tackling two problems in the community. One is what? Resource scarcity. That is instructional material in the classroom. The other one is what? The growing problem of environmental waste. Now, how do we do this? We do this by training teachers to upcycle environmental waste into interactive learning tools to increase classroom engagement and for improved academic performance. So far, what we've done, now we've reached 6 schools plus 1 college. We are working with 1 Million Leaders Africa to train a college of education in Abuja. And we've trained so far 30 teachers, and we've reached 300 plus students, and we've upcycled 25 kilograms of waste. Now, what is the market potential? Our unique value proposition is this. While the teacher serve as a guide on the side, it doesn't necessarily mean that the teacher will be the one designing the creative work. The teacher serve as a guide on the side while he engage the students in designing those, upcycling those instructional devices. The market research. The global market was estimated, was valued at 1.29 trillion USD in 2022, and expected to grow from 1.36 USD trillion in 2023 to 2.07 trillion by 2031 at a compound annual growth rate of 5.4% during the forecast period of 2024 to 2031. Now, according to a Global Plastic Action, Nigeria generates over 2.5 million metric tons of plastic waste annually. Less than 10% of this waste are either recycled or upcycled. Now, what is the validation? So far, from the project that we've done, we've discovered that teachers in their creative and cultural arts, teachers are now using upcycle to give the students assignments, classwork, and the like. So why do we need this 2 million naira? Now, the reason why we need this 2 million naira is to, one, scale our impact across 3 regions, Abuja, Enugu, and Kaduna states. And we will be doing 50% of this fund will be going for teacher training, which involve creating a comprehensive training manual of how to upcycle environmental waste into interactive learning tools in the classroom in underserved community. Now, the 30% will go into website development. We want to create a sustainable system where, even though I am not in Ogun State, but the videos and the tutorials that we've uploaded in our website will be able to teach or guide a teacher who is in...
All right, Collins, time is up. Thank you. All right, well done. So now, which judge do we give? One, because of time. No, we have two more. Okay.
So, Collins, I think this is a brilliant idea. Brilliant, 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 because I think it solves a problem that we have across the country in terms of getting resources in the hands of children who really need it most. And you're using existing, should I say, waste, things that people discard and don't use, and you're transforming it into useful materials for children. So hats off to you. Well done for that. My question to you is, do you or have you partnered with organizations who are already doing a lot of recycling and upcycling with materials and tools? Because that would help with your materials and tools operational costs. Because if you can connect with them, it would mean that you essentially would have all of this materials at your disposal immediately. So is that something that you've considered and working towards?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so let me just take it this way. I'll take that as a feedback, and I'll look into going into doing that. But then we still also partner with 1 Million Leaders Africa on their climate action. So these guys are experts in designing, turning waste into different models of learning. Thank you.
I saw some pictures earlier on, but you didn't exactly say what learning materials that you are producing from this.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So we are producing in-school design and instructional material. That's the two things we are doing. Now, the first one, what you're seeing here, the children are producing geometric sorters, how to find location. If you want to teach compass bearing, this compass bearing. And another one we've produced is geometric sorter. You can imagine teaching 3D shape and drawing it on the board for the children. But you can use carton to design this and have the children have it hand and see it. Because I have demonstrated this in my classroom. There is one particular day we are teaching geometric sorter, 3D shapes. And for instance, I drew rhombus on the board and I asked the children a question concerning that rhombus, and they failed the question. So I asked them to design that rhombus, and after designing it, I told them to observe that thing that they designed. And I asked them the same question, like the number of edges a rhombus has. And they were able to just point and answer the question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Collins. Let's give him a round of applause once again. Well done. We'll quickly move to Joy Ifeanyi, who's going to talk to us about our initiative, Waste Desk.
Imagine you walked into this hall and you had to sit on the floor from 11 a.m. when you came till 4 p.m. How productive would you be? That exactly is the case of most students in underserved schools who come to school like my students, and they have to sit on the floor from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Now, sitting on the floor, the cold, hard floor, leads to a couple of issues like lower back pain, body aches, and also it reduces their focus and motivation to be in school. And overall, it affects the learning experience. Also, the lack of basic infrastructure like school desks tend to widen the gap in our educational system, making us see the difference between the have and the have-nots. And that we know that it is reinforcing social and economic disparity in acquiring quality education. That is on one hand. On the other hand, many low-income communities generate large amounts of waste that they don't know what to do with it. And so we decided as an organization to solve the problem in our classroom and in our community. And how do we do that? We recycle waste for funds, and we use this fund to procure and construct school desks for our students. Since we started this project in 2023, we've been able to impact over 7 classrooms in 2 states, Kaduna State, where we saw a lot of students sitting on the floor, and also in Ogun State. We have 7 classrooms in total, and we have been able to lift 520 students from the floor to the school desk. You know what that means to your motivation. As you're seated, you feel good about yourself. But these students, they lack the motivation to even come to school because they don't feel valued. And we have also recycled over 2 tons of waste. That is a lot for our environment. We have also impacted over 1,000 stakeholders. We have increased our team of volunteers. And we have also taught the SDG goals to over 2,500 students. We have also partnered with 3 organizations, the Pollination Project, 1 Million Teachers, and we have also partnered with Agape Life Foundation, where I won the first runner-up of the best teachers. Okay. I should keep going. All right. So that's our impact so far. Now, what makes us stand out is the fact that this school desk that we provide is not just done from one manufacturing plant. Our students go on to do this project. They are part and parcel of the iteration of the project to the construction of the school desk. So we wanted to bring a solution where our students are not just looking at us as saviors. We wanted them to be a part of the project. And so these students, they bring the waste, they see us recycle it, they see the companies that come to pick the waste, and then we get the money. We buy the wood from the environment, like the shops in the community will buy the wood. And so it makes the project for the whole community, because even the parents that are selling the wood, they want the project to continue. And what also makes us stand out is that we harness the qualities in our students. Many of the students in Ogun State, they are involved in one skill or the other. And so we partner with local people to construct the school decks, and the students are part and parcel of it. And they also paint it and do everything that that we need to do for our school decks. And then our sustainability. Now, because we know that this project, if we leave it for the government, we might not be able to lift these students from the floor like we want to do to the school desk. We are partnering with fast food joints where we're going to get a lot of plastics, and we're also trying to incentivize waste. So this time around, it is not just the students that will be bringing the waste. We want a situation where we're able to... Okay. So we want a situation where we're able to partner with local businesses such as fast food to ensure a steady supply of waste. We also want to incentivize waste collection where we are able to empower mothers. People in the community can bring their waste. We give them a token and then we use it for what we want. And for our risk management, we know that some communities might be slow to adopt waste collection or recycling habits. So we want to shade awareness to these communities so that they know that there is value in what they call waste. We also know that there might be changing environmental regulations that could impact waste collection. And so we're going to ensure that we diversify what we use. Presently, we're taking plastics, but we're also taking cartons, we're also taking cans, and every other thing that people call waste. And for the inconsistent or insufficient supply of recycling waste material, I said we're going to incentivize waste collection. Our ask is 2 million naira. And with 2 million naira, we're going to be able to secure a space for our waste collection and construction. We want to purchase recycling machines and equipment. We also want to construct waste collection points that we're going to drop in these schools so that it will be very easy for them to collect the waste, and launch our Waste to Dex website where everybody in this room can just on our website, tell us you have waste in your house and we are going to come and pick it up from you. You don't need to stress yourself.
All right,
and then
Joy,
construct more school decks and expand our workforce. Thank you.
Well done. Let's give her a round of applause. She did a great job, even continuing to present while our slides were not on. So we're going to give one judge to ask a question. Okay.
Thank you very much. And yes, good job for continuing despite the power. We could tell that you knew your onions and you didn't really need the slide. So well done. Well done on that. So I just wondered, and I don't know if it was in the slides and we probably just didn't see it. How much have you been able to generate from the plastics since you have been collecting in terms of actual figures, and how much does it cost to actually make one desk?
Okay, it costs 30,000 to produce one of these desks, and for 1 kg of waste, we get 300 naira. So it means we need 10 kg to 100 kg for one desk. So if we go to a school, we tell them, we show them, first of all, they come to us with their problem. Oh, we don't have school desks, our students are on the floor, and we know the impact it has on education, right? Look at how strenuous it is to learn without school desks, you know. So when we go to the schools and we tell them, we're not saviors to give you money. There is work to be done because you have problem in the environment, right? So can you get us this amount of waste for this number of school desks? And that's how it works. So that's like an example of what happens in the class and in the schools where we partner with.
All right. Thank you so much, Joy. Okay. So let's clap for her once more. Thank you so much, Joy. All right. And the last but not the least, Innovator. We are going to welcome Adeyoju Adeyola, who is going to talk to us about Be Kind.
Good day, everyone. I'm Daoud Adeyoju Adeyola by name. I'm Daoud Adeyoju Adeyola by name. I'm the founder of Be Kind Initiative. I want us to imagine a situation whereby a student goes to school every day, and the student is experiencing a sort of bullying issues in the school. That actually happens to me when I was in primary school. Now that I'm a teacher in this Lagos state, so I thought of providing solutions to that experience that I had when I was in primary school. Now that gave birth to this Be Kind Initiative. That actually gave birth to Be Kind Initiative. Now, our solution, aside from the usual assembly talks, moral talk that we give to students as regards bullying issue in the schools, now we have created a unique solution which we call the Be Kind game. We use it to engage our students in schools on every Wednesday during the extracurricular activities. On this Be Kind board game, it has 2 sessions. The first session there is the empathy side, and we also have the bullying side there. Now, when a player lands on the bullying side, the player of the game will have to move back as specified on the boxes there. Now, if a player lands on the empathy side, the player will be directed to move up as a reinforcement, positive reinforcement for the player. Now, so far, we've been able to impact over 200 students in our pilot schools. Now, and from the report we got from the school counselor, which is volunteering for us, from the report, we had 50% reduction in reported bullying case incidents in the school. And also, 90% of the students demonstrated increased empathy as a result of the engagement with the board game. Now, our scalability plan, we plan to build partnership with organizations that have similar goals with us. Also, we plan to digitize the Be Kind game so that it will be able to reach more students all over the world. And also, we are building partnership with state governments. Now, our sustainability plan, we are also trying to build partnership with the Association of School Counselors, Professional School Counselors. This will enable us to reach the students in all the schools that we have in Lagos State. Now, the professional counselors, they are the closest to the students in the schools. So they will be able to assist us in tackling bullying in the school. Also, we plan to be having bullying awareness program. Also, we also have merchandise sales. From the merchandise sales, we'll be able to get enough funds in order to support this project. Now, we are pitching for 2 million naira. This 2 million naira will enable us to get more of this board game. I have it here. This actually cost, this is a 4x3 board game because of the large audience that we have today. That's why I make it so big like this. This is a 4x3 board game, and it actually costs 3,600 naira. I have a smaller version of it over there on the table there. Together we can make a difference. Let's be kind. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Adeyanju, for your presentation. Judges? Okay.
Well done, Adeyanju. I like the title, the name of the project. I like the initiative or the brain behind it. I mean, it's not just bullying physically. You also have cyber bullies as well. I hope it's something that you are thinking about. Overall, I think for me, to make this sustainable, you need to incentivize the children by creating something outside of this. I don't know what it is, but I think you can go back and think of how can you move it outside of just gaming to something that would give them more benefits than gaming. I mean, gamification, don't get me wrong, it is good, but what can they take home outside of gamification that would give them the learning experience? Because your goal is to transform their mindset from being a bully to being a better child. So you need to think deep into that. You also need to think about, I don't know, this is me thinking 3, 4, 5 years, which is basically your projection for Be Kind, is how do you address cyberbullying, okay? Because parents are going through that. They have children that have been traumatized, on digital devices, on social media. So the question is, how can you translate or create initiatives outside of this game to something that is digital, okay, that would help address that? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Actually, this game was actually designed along with my students. When I got to school, I had a lot of bullying cases there, so I called the students. They told me what happens, like I teach in the boarding school. They told me the kind of bullying case, issues that happens in the school, and from the response I got from them, so I designed this game. And on this game, we have different scenarios there. Now, part of our plan is to digitize this game. Yes, we are planning to create an app that will contain all the bullying cases that we have here, so that students will be able to play it anywhere in the world. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you so much, Adeyanju, and thank you very much to all our judges for their feedback so far. Okay. And I would like us to also give a round of applause once again to our 10 innovators who have come to share about the amazing work they are doing. Okay, so our judges are going to take some time out now to find out who's going to go home with 2 million naira today, right? And maybe think about if they're going to add 1 million or 2 extra to our innovators. Okay, so our judges would like you to just stand up quickly. If you look behind you, you see Bosse, who is waving. Bosse, please can you wave? Yes. So she's waving. So I'd like you to just walk up to her, and she's going to take you to a room where you're going to collate the results, and then we'll be expecting you back in the next 5 to 7 minutes. Yeah. All right. So please let's give our judges a round of applause as they go to collate the results. All right. Thank you so much. While the pitches were going on, we had Mr. Olugbenga Adejonkwe, who is representing the TESCOM chairman, Ogun State, who is the director of Appeal, Petition, and Discipline from Ogun TESCOM, join us. You're welcome, sir. Thank you so much for making time to join us today. Okay, so as we wait for the judges to return, we'll be going on to the presentation of certificates. I mean, if you agree with me, these innovators have actually learned a lot, and they've been stretched over a 3-month period, right? And so we're going to award them certificates. And for the first set of certificates that will be going on, I'd like to call on the photographer who is going to take the pictures. Okay. I would like us to welcome Dr. Mrs. Adeleye, who is going to help us issue the certificate to the first round of innovators. Let's continue to clap for her as she comes up, please. Thank you. All right, so the first person who is going to get a certificate here is Shulamite Aremo. Please, let's keep clapping. All right. Thank you so much. Yes, you can have your certificate. So please hold on, ma'am. We still have 2 other persons coming up. Okay, so we have Shonde Oluwatobi. Okay. And then we have Joy Amarachi Ifeanyi. All right. Thank you so much, Ma. You may return back to your seats. Thank you, Ma. All right. Please, let's give her a round of applause. Thank you so much, Ma. Then we are going to welcome our CEO of Teacher Nigeria, Mr. Olajiga, to present the next set of certificates. So I would like to call on Agnes. All right, then we have Ajayi Babajide. And then we have Nwabuike Collins. Then we have Agbono Boluwatife. All right, thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Please let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, sir. Then we're going to welcome Mr. Gregory Yinka Greg to present the last certificates. Mr. Gregory. All right, please let's clap for him as he comes up, please. Thank you. All right, so our first innovator, Pascal Anyanwu. All right. Dauda, Adeyanju, Adeyola. And then Kolawole Oluwaseun Grace. Okay, so he's representing her. All right, thank you so much, sir. All right, so just before we wait for the judges to come back, they'll be back shortly. We have a few minutes to walk around. So we have ideas, suggestions, questions for our innovators. You can actually walk up to them right now, ask questions. And then if you go to the back, there's an exhibition stand where they have some of their products. So I know Shulamite, when she was preaching, talked about a steam bottle that actually warms up cold when you just turn on a button. That button is actually at the back. So if you want to see how it works, you can go on. But you have ideas, questions, or partnership opportunities, funding for our innovators, they are here. You can walk up to them, ask questions. And once the judges are back, we'll gather again to hear the winners. Thank you very much.
Deprived family. And even when they go to school and when they're able to attend school, majority of them are unable to learn because the schools haven't been designed to support their needs and provide the support for them needed to really Teach for Nigeria exists because millions of children in Nigeria are unable to access quality education. Majority of these children come from disadvantaged backgrounds and from socially deprived families. And even when they go to school and when they're able to attend school, majority of them are unable to learn because the schools haven't been designed to support their needs and provide the support for them needed to really attain quality education.
You know, I had children who would come to school hungry, and most of them would not show up with school materials. No uniforms, or the uniforms are torn, and seeing children who could not read at all. My name is Agnes Onyekere. I'm a 2021 Teach for Nigeria Fellow.
We approach the challenge in a very unique way where we recruit outstanding fresh graduates and young professionals who we train and place to teach in high-need schools for 2 years as full-time teachers.
I would pay the food vendor in my school and then should give them food. You know, so we'll feed the people who are hungry. Then I would buy school materials. From my own pocket was what I needed to do to ensure that I, do what I needed to do in the class, teach and get my lesson objectives achieved.
Those girls are holding their hand, they're holding hands and they're crossing.
My name is Etin Favor. I am 11 years old. The name of my school is Emmanuel Egekan Primary School 1, Italupe, Ijebu-Ode. I am in Primary 5A. Ms. Agnes is so nice. When we are sad, Ms. Agnes makes sure we are happy. And since the time Ms. Agnes have come, now I can read, I can teach other people how to read. Nice.
In relation to Favor, she goes all the way from learning to read herself, and she's now teaching people to read in the class. So for me, that's another level of transformation. It was now, oh, this person actually cared about me. And I now understood that children knew how to speak one language, right? And that's the language of love.
And beyond the 2 years, the idea really is based on the experience that they've had, based on the insight that they've gained, based on the relationships they've fostered, and the experience they've had in really seeing children transform within those 2 years. They commit themselves to really finding ways to continue to expand educational opportunities for children in underserved and low-income communities.
The young boys and the girls that we see on the road when, we're going on the road and we think that they're probably praying truancy or they're not serious, is not because they don't want to be in school, but they just truly can't afford to be in school, but they really, really want to learn. My name is Aramide Kayode, and I am a 2020 alumni of Teach for Nigeria. And I said, okay, I was going to open my classroom up to these children. So every Saturday I started teaching the children. They were showing up in my classroom. And I remember that within 6 months of starting, we recorded a 30% increase in their literacy rate. And I said to myself, this is amazing, right? So if this impact can happen in this short time, then something has to be sustainable that is going on.
Aramide is currently on a path to building a free school for out-of-school children in Ogun State. Aramide is working with community members to identify and to select children who are not able to access quality education, who are not even able to access education at all.
But because I spent 2 years in this community, I know the community members, I worked with the children, I had a relationship with the stakeholders in the community, I was able to understand why they are not in school. I was able to understand the living conditions that are injuring a child from accessing quality learning, and I'm now able to solve it from that perspective.
There are many things that need to be done, and when you find across the world where challenges as systemic as that of educational inequity are solved, what changes it, what transforms it really is leadership. Beyond the fellowship, our alumni body of 641 leaders have gone on to impacting within the education ecosystem. Their innovations and initiatives are not only impacting on the communities they've served in, but also in Nigeria as a whole.
I joined Teach for Nigeria because I'm someone who is very fascinated about helping to solve the Nigerian problem. I just like to be in a place where it feels like I'm making impact. I would want to start an NGO that has to do with solving the welfare issue of children in underserved public schools.
Every time I think about the average Nigerian child, I think about a child who, if this child is empowered with quality education, then this child will be able to think independently and now start to find problems from his or her little corner and solve these problems.
Over the next 10 years, we're looking at impacting 1 million children annually. We're hoping that we would exist across all the geopolitical zones by the next 10 years with fellows and alumni and leaders who are working en masse in ensuring that children are able to access education and life opportunities to help them fulfill their potential. That really is the future of Teach for Nigeria.
If you come into a group as a social innovator, you will come with a beggarly cap, always needing money, always wanting money. Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me. But if you come with a development cap, you come in as a partner to the table, a collaborator. We're not asking for handouts, we're here to have a partnership collaboration. What programs and projects can we co-design and co-develop and co-implement together?
The Incubation Hub program is a 3-month enterprise development initiative designed to provide the skills, resources, and also access to mentorship that are needed by early-stage startup from the Teach for Nigeria alumni community. And the idea is to enable them to grow and scale their initiative towards system-level change in the education system.
What does development consultant do? They
reach out to organizations that have needs and budgets. They help them co-design and co-implement intervention programs.
I'm happy to be one of the beneficiaries of the 2024 Teach for Nigeria Incubation Hub. For me, this has been a transformative experience.
I've learned so much, and one thing that I'm taking away from this experience is the fact that I shouldn't build structures around myself alone as a leader. I should not have the founder's syndrome, but the ideal is that we are supposed to build structures that can work even when we are not in that picture.
The emotional intelligence session, it gave me this new insight and perspective about handling people, knowing and understanding better emotions to use when dealing with people.
I've learned about credibility, that is, I must be credible, and whoever I'm working with must be credible. And another key takeaway I learned was documentation. Anything I'm doing, I need to document it. Also strategy. I learned a lot of strategies, building systems and structures for my business, how to incorporate media, how to apply emotional intelligence, effective communication skills, leadership, and branding.
It was interesting meeting and engaging with all the amazing and remarkable 10 innovators, highly talented and very ambitious. And I think this program is very timely. Kudos to all the partners and the funders and the team at Teach for Nigeria, enabling and capacitating these young folks to take it on themselves going forward. So that is really remarkable, and I can't wait to see what they will do next.
Going to present, because we really appreciate our judges and they've been so instrumental to, today's event, in terms of the quality feedback they've given to our innovators here, the suggestions, feedback, and even the questions, because most of these questions actually help you to think deeper and think more strategic about the work that you're doing. So we're going to just show a token of appreciation to our judges, and I'm going to call on Mr. Kunle Elebute, who is the board chair of Teach for Nigeria, to help in presenting these awards. So our first award, we're going to call on Damilola Okonkwo, who is the founder of Key Academy. Thank you so much, Ma, for making out time today. Okay. Next, we're going to call on Molade. Molade Adeni, thank you so much for making out time today. Okay, so we're going to call on next Edward Esene. Thank you so much for making out time today. Okay, and then we're going to call on Tracy Apofure. Thank you so much, Tracy, for making our time today. And then last but not the least, Tosin Oshukoya. Thank you very much for your time and your support today. All right, so one of our judges has already protested that she did not take a picture on the podium. So let's welcome Damilola Okonkwo again to take a podium picture. All right. Okay, so thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. All right, so let's give a round of applause to our board chair and our amazing judges for their support and time today. Now we've gotten to... Is it the most interesting part? 2 million naira. Oh, God. I know that in Nigeria's economy, that's not really too much, but that's still a lot, right? And we now have our winner for the 4th Teach for Nigeria Incubation Hub. Yeah, and I'm going to call on our CEO of Teach for Nigeria, Mr. Ayodele Olajiga, who is going to announce the winner. Please, let's clap some more. This is the most interesting part.
I thought she was going to say I'm the winner, so I just collect the check. If you recollect when I was speaking, I reminded you that someone said to me that the 2 million naira is not a lot of money. And I, said maybe they might want to put something. And so these judges went into the room, and suddenly, we were going to give the winner 2 million naira, and we are still going to give the winner 2 million naira. But is it the first or the second runner-up? The first and the second runner-up now end up getting something because Mr. Tosin Osuko has graciously decided to add 1 million naira to the pot. And out of shame or excitement, Teach for Nigeria decided to add 500 to the pot as well. Then Mr. Edward Esene then also dropped a tuition-free scholarship to the School of Grand Success. Now, wait. This was to be for one person. But because I'm holding the mic, I'm not going to ask him, can we make it for 3 people? Because I'm holding the mic. No pressure. Yeah, I'll wait. It's possible. Good. So the prize now is going to be 2 million naira for the winner, 1 million for the first runner-up, 500,000 for the second runner-up, and all 3 of them get to attend the School of Grand Success. Yes. So if you're looking to hire an MC for your event, because I'll raise money while on stage. So let me invite the chairman of Teach for Nigeria to join me in presenting the gifts to the winner. So I'll announce and then he will present. Mr. Liberty. Right. The second runner-up, that's third, Abby. Because I get confused how it is. Yeah. So the second runner-up for this event is the Warriors Project. So he gets 500,000 and also tuition to the School of Grand Success. You'll get your check later because today we had planned for only one check. Right. The second runner-up. Here. Oh, the first runner-up. So I don't get this one wrong because the judges, yes. So the first runner-up is waste to desks. So take the picture. So they get 1 million naira and also tuition to School of Grand Success. And the one that we'll be waiting for. I was going to announce an interlude, but I'm not sure Mr. Ilibite might suspend me. So let me just announce the winner. So this company is being judged to be the best of the 10. And so going home with 2 million naira, tuition free to Grand Success, is Waste to Design.
I was built to be the best. number one and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny. I have waited patiently. I have vision, oh I believe. I know I can count on me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Here we go, it's getting close. Now it's just who wants it most. It's just life, that's how it is. 'Cause we have our strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I have vision, can't you see? I'm on the move, make way for me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down,
So while we're taking pictures, today is like a gift that keeps giving. So apparently, the School of Grand Success has decided that they will give all 10 free tuition to their program. Thank you. All right, so we have come to the end of the event. I just want to say a massive thank you to our sponsors, Owando Foundation, our implementing partner EDC, TESCOM Ogun State, TESCOM Lagos State, our judges, and everyone that has joined us here today in person and also online. Thank you, and we'll see you next year.
All right. Okay, so we're going to take some pictures before we leave. So I'm going to call on, yes. So I'm going to call on the winner. Collins, please come up stage. Okay. Okay. Yes.
Yes, please. And the chairman too. Yes, please. Molade, please, can you join? Yes, please. Thank you. Yeah, you can join us. Yeah. Hey, Jesus, I need like 5. We'll take again. Sorry. Yes, please. I'll send you.
Okay. Level. Just a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of cigarette. I'm already singing bird. I'm already continental, international. Killing it, you know I'm put the fire. Now the beautiful look on, couple up or solo one. Pressure no fi catch you. Fully loaded cash. When it's in the corner, it's with it bad, you loud.
If you come into a group as a social innovator, you will come with a beggarly cap. Always.
Teach for Nigeria exists because millions of children in Nigeria are unable to access quality education. Majority of these children come from disadvantaged backgrounds and from socially deprived families. And even when they go to school and when they're able to attend school, majority of them are unable to learn because the schools haven't been designed to support their needs and provide the support for them needed to really attain quality education.
You know, I had children who would come to school hungry, and most of them would not show up with school materials. No uniforms, or the uniforms are torn, and seeing children who could not read at all. My name is Agnes Onyekere. I'm a 2021 Teach for Nigeria Fellow.
We approach the challenge in a very unique way, where we recruit outstanding fresh graduates and young professionals who we train and place to teach in high-need schools for 2 years as full-time teachers.
I would pay the food vendor in my school and then should give them food. You know, so we'll feed the people who are hungry. Then I would buy school materials. From my own pocket was what I needed to do to ensure that I, do what I needed to do in the class, teach and get my lesson objectives achieved.
Those girls are holding their hand, they're holding hands and they're crossing.
My name is Etin Favor. I am 11 years old. The name of my school is Emmanuel Primary School 1, Italupe, Ijebu. I am in primary 5A. Miss Agnes is so nice. When we are sad, Miss Agnes makes sure we are happy. And since the time Miss Agnes have come, now I can read, I can teach other people how to read. Nice. It is that.
In relation to Favor, she goes all the way from learning to read herself, and she's now teaching people to read in the class. So for me, that's another level of transformation. It was now, oh, this person actually cared about me. And I now understood that children knew how to speak one language, right? And that's the language of love.
And beyond the 2 years, the idea really is based on the experience that they've had, based on the insight that they've gained, based on the relationships they've fostered, and the experience they've had in really seeing children transform within those 2 years. They commit themselves to really finding ways to continue to expand educational opportunities for children in underserved and low-income communities.
The young boys and the girls that we see on the road when, we're going on the road and we think that they're probably praying truancy or they're not serious, is not because they don't want to be in school, but they just truly can't afford to be in school, but they really, really want to learn. My name is Aramide Kayode, and I am a 2020 alumni of Teach for Nigeria. And I said, okay, I was going to open my classroom up to these children. So every Saturday I started teaching the children. They were showing up in my classroom. And I remember that within 6 months of starting, we recorded a 30% increase in their literacy rate. And I said to myself, this is amazing, right? So if this impact can happen in this short time, then something has to be sustainable that is going on.
Aramide is currently on a path to building a free school for out-of-school children in Ogun State. Aramide is working with community members to identify and to select children who are not able to access quality education, who are not even able to access education at all.
But because I spent 2 years in this community, I know the community members, I worked with the children, I had a relationship with the stakeholders in the community, I was able to understand why they are not in school. I was able to understand the living conditions that are injuring a child from accessing quality learning, and I'm now able to solve it from that perspective.
There are many things that need to be done, and when you find across the world where challenges as systemic as that of educational inequity are solved, what changes it, what transforms it really is leadership. Beyond the fellowship, our alumni body of 641 leaders have gone on to impacting within the education ecosystem. Their innovations and initiatives are not only impacting on the communities they've served in, but also in Nigeria as a whole.
I joined Teach for Nigeria because I'm someone who is very fascinated about helping to solve the Nigerian problem. You know, I just like to be in a place where it feels like I'm making impact. I'd want to start an NGO that has to do with solving the welfare issue of children in underserved public schools.
Every time I think about the average Nigerian child, I think about a child who, if this child is empowered with quality education, then this child will be able to think independently and now start to find problems from his or her little corner and solve these problems.
Over the next 10 years, we're looking at impacting 1 million children annually. We're hoping that we would exist across all the geopolitical zones by the next 10 years with fellows and alumni and leaders who are working en masse in ensuring that children are able to access education and life opportunities to help them fulfill their potential. That really is the future of Teach for Nigeria.
If you come into a group as a social innovator, you will come with a beggarly cap, always needing money, always wanting money. Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me. But if you come with a development cap, you come in as a partner to the table, a collaborator. We're not asking for handouts, we're here to have a partnership collaboration. What programs and projects can we co-design and co-develop and co-implement together?
The Incubation Hub program is a 3-month enterprise development initiative designed to provide the skills, resources, and also access to mentorship that are needed by early-stage startups from the Teach for Nigeria alumni community. And the idea is to enable them to grow and scale their initiative towards system-level change in the education system.
What does development consultants do? They reach out to organizations that have needs and budgets. They help them co-design and co-implement intervention programs.
I'm happy to be one of the beneficiaries of the 2024 Teach for Nigeria Incubation Hub. For me, this has been a transformative experience.
I've learned so much, and one thing that I'm taking away from this experience is the fact that I shouldn't build structures around myself alone as a leader. I should not have the founder's syndrome, but the ideal is that we are supposed to build structures that can work even when we are not in that picture.
The emotional intelligence session, it gives me this new insight and perspective about handling people, knowing and understanding better emotions to use when dealing with people.
I've learned about credibility, that is, I must be credible, and whoever I'm working with must be credible. And another key takeaway I learned was documentation. Anything I'm doing, I need to document it. Also strategy. I learned a lot of strategies, building systems and structures for my business, how to incorporate media, how to apply emotional intelligence, effective communication skills, leadership, and branding.
It was interesting meeting and engaging with all the amazing and remarkable 10 innovators, highly talented and very, very ambitious. And I think this program is very timely. Kudos to all the partners and the funders and the team at Teach for Nigeria, enabling and capacitating these young folks to take it on themselves going forward. So that is really, really remarkable, and I can't wait to see what they will do next.
Leader as follows.
Zero basic.
Do you guys remember these guys?
My experience so far in the Incubation Hub is that I've been able to learn a lot of lessons. I learned about project management.
I have mastered the art of grant writing.
I have also learned about sustainability.
I learned about leadership skills.
I've also learned about different kinds of funding and the kinds of fundings that I need specifically for my enterprise.
I have mastered how to network in attending events and conferences.
I have learned also how to build partnerships.
Partnership is C2C, B2B, B2G, and B2DP.